Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to, or welcome back if you are indeed a frequent viewer on the channel. Welcome back, or welcome to NXTGEN Racing live on YouTube and live on Facebook. This is Thursday night racing here at NXTGEN Racing, and it features the GT3s. It is season 8 of this championship that's been hosted on Thursdays for many years now, and we've got a massive grid awaiting for us tonight for round 2 of the championship. But first, a little bit about the series. This, as we mentioned, is the GT3 Season 8, hosted by NXTGEN Racing. My name is Alex Everett, your commentator for tonight and for the season. We've got 10 rounds this season. We've done 1 already last week, and this is round 2 tonight. And there are another 8 rounds in the future. Let's give a big shout out to our partners, sponsors and affiliates here at NXTGEN Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC, Builds and Support, and Doble Motorcycles. As we mentioned, this is Thursday night racing here at NXTGEN Racing. There is also Tuesday the NXTCC, Touring Car Racing, which at the moment is following the BTCC structure, schedule and format. And that is coming to the final 2 rounds in the coming weeks and month. So be sure to tune in to the channel to watch that on Tuesday night as well as this. And what we've got in store for you for these GT3 championships and rounds, well, there is a 1 hour practice that the drivers are participating in right now, but on the hour, in just approximately 13 minutes from now, there'll be a qualifying session to introduce us to the night of competitive racing. That'll set the grid for the first race of the night, which is a 20-minute sprint race, of which the grid is formed by the overall positions of the drivers in qualifying. There will be a 60-minute feature race later on in the night, but of course, something to bear in mind in this championship is there are classes, or categories as I like to call them, gold, silver and bronze, and they are based on the skills of the drivers and categorised pre-season. Gold drivers typically comprise of drivers who are in the top third of the field, middle third of the field, comprised of drivers in the silver category, and the bronze category are the lesser experienced or newer drivers to racing / iRacing. And the reason I mentioned that, well, is because the feature race later on, ladies and gentlemen, will the grid is formed for that feature race based on the results of the sprint race, but each category will be grouped separately. So golds will start at the front, silvers will start in the middle, sometime after the golds, and then sometime after the silvers. The bronze will start in their group, and each group will be reversed based on their positions within their category from the sprint race. I'm sure it'll make sense later on if I didn't make it make much sense just then, but we'll get there in the end later on in the night, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. There is a live race director as well, so there is a race director watching the races and will call a full course caution or even a red flag if needed to do so. If there is an incident on the track that makes the track unsafe to drive on, in a real life situation that is, but in the virtual situation, these drivers will be asked to come to a very slow speed as if it is a full course caution or a virtual safety car in Formula 1 terms, but that is designed to help keep the drivers nice and formatted so they're not caught up in any instance. Debris can be cleared off the track, drivers can get themselves back on the track without the worry of ruining other drivers' races or other drivers collecting other drivers, etc, etc. It's very exciting and it does make for some very interesting racing. Likewise does the realistic weather in this series. There is dry weather, wet weather, storms, wind, etc. Very realistic weather in this series, which throws up plenty of surprises, including last week, with a feature race last week we were introduced with wet weather for that race, and it sure did pull up some curveballs, but also some drivers really breaking through to show their skill in the rain. It was very exciting indeed. But if you want to get involved in this series, if this is all sounding great to you, or if you just want to watch as a fan, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to get involved in the series or involved in the championship just as a spectator, keeping an eye on the news, keeping an eye on the banter in NXTGEN Racing, you can scan the QR code just to the off center of our screen there, and that will give you access to Next Gen Racing's Discord server. It is free to join, and anyone can join, particularly those who are looking to sign up as a driver in the series. And if you are unable to scan that QR code, there is a link in the description of this video, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, that you can click and it will give you access to Discord. So these are the tracks we're racing on this season. We've already done Fuji International last time out last week, and it's Red Bull Ring today. We're in the Styrian Mountains tonight of Austria, and this is round 2 of the championship. There will be a week off next week, but when we come back in 2 weeks from today, it'll be the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. So the endurance rounds are sporadic rounds of the championship that are labelled in the blue text on our calendar graphic on screen there, and they are just singular 2-hour endurance races, and the grid for those races are based on the championship order of each category group, but reversed. So if you're first in the championship in your category heading out of Red Bull Ring tonight, guess what? You're going to be starting the back of the grid, or your grid, in your category for the next race. So it really does mean that the drivers who are the best in their category have to work hard in many races this season to get themselves back to the front of the field to score them valuable points. But round 3 will be the first endurance round of the championship, and that will be hosted at the infamous Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. Then a week later, we're in Italy for the Imola circuit. And then it's into the UK for round 5 to see us out of the first half of the season with a track that's non-conventional with GT3 racing. But it's going to be Thruxton, the fastest circuit in the UK, will host round 5 of the championship. Then we're back for round 6 of the championship with the second of 3 endurance rounds in the championship, and that'll be hosted at the Daytona Road Course. What a brilliant track to host endurance racing in this series. One of my favourite endurance races on iRacing year in, year out. It hosts 24 hours of Daytona each year, both real life and on iRacing, of course. There'll be a week off after round 6, and when we come back for round 7, it will be Laguna Seca in the US, in California State. And then a week later, we're back in the UK for its second visit, and it'll be the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. And then a week after that, for the penultimate round of the season, the final round of our sprint and feature race format, it will be hosted at the Nürburgring GP circuit. And then 1 week later, it's the finale of the championship will be hosted at Sebring International, the infamous circuit that hosts the Sebring 12 hours each year. And that will host our final round of the championship, and will crown our 3 champions in the drivers' categories and our winning team at the end of the season. And this is a GT3 championship, so of course there are GT3 cars driven by the drivers, and there are 10 to choose from in this category. And of course, there's another car coming to iRacing very soon in the GT3 category, the Aston Martin. So very much looking forward to seeing that in the series, if we do indeed get it in the series. So let's find out in the coming weeks if we do get it, but for the time being, there's 10 cars to choose from. The Acura NSX, the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, the McLaren 720S Evo, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911 R992. So, round 2 of the championship then. Red Bull Ring. Very simple layout of this circuit. Not many corners indeed. Just 10 corners. 6 to the right and 4 to the left. We're up in the Styrian Mountains in Spielberg, and what's referred to as Red Bull Ring nowadays, but back in the day it was referred to as the Österreich, and it has been very famous since the 70s. 1970 is when it first hosted the Austrian Grand Prix in Formula 1. It hosted the Austrian Grand Prix on and off since then. But nowadays it hosts Formula 1 as a regular slot on the calendar, home of Red Bull of course, and it also hosts MotoGP and the ADAC GT Masters to be relevant to this series, and of course DTM as well. Previously hosted the European Le Mans series as well. But as we head out of round 1 of the championship, we had 6 different winners last week from our opening round of the season at Fuji International. In the gold category we had a sprint race win from Dominik Pester and a feature race win from Benji McCluskey, who, heading out of Season 7, very nearly won the championship, but a lot of bad luck struck him in that round, which prevented him the championship. But a good start to the season, winning the feature race. And in the silver category, it's Sprint race win for Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and he was on his way to win the feature race, but on the final straight of the final lap, he ran out of fuel, and it allowed Alain McKane to lift his curse, and he has won a race in the series that I've been watching, as far as I've been watching anyway. But a feature race win for Alain McKane in the silver category, and in the bronze category, it was Jonathan Berry opening up with a sprint race win, but then his teammate Samy Ariba in the feature race winning that. But what does that do to the championship heading into tonight? I'm sure you are wondering. Well, we have got the points ready for you. And we're going to start off with the gold category. Due to the feature race win and a very good performance in race 1 as well, it's Benji McCluskey who comes out on top in the championship in the gold category. We're so familiar to seeing Benji McCluskey at the top of the field, but he has got a lot of competition this season, as in second place, Dominik Pester, who won the sprint race, is just 4 points behind, and he's looking very fiery and quick this season. Likewise, our other drivers, including Brandon Schmidt, who led a lot of the feature race last time out at Fuji. He's in third place. Carl Griffiths, a podium placing for him in the sprint race, gets him 4th position. Jack Pittas, a very consistent driver, especially last season, 5th place for him. With Harry Hartley-Price in his debut, nice 6th place for him in the championship. Lucas Seedorf struggled a little bit last week, a good sprint race for him, but the feature race did not go so well for him. He's in 7th place, with Jamie Dory in 8th place, with Kieran Davidson in 9th, Ben Altria in 10th. And you might be wondering, where is our champion from last season, Stephan Wessels? Well, he didn't have a good round last week at all. In the first race, he collided with Gaz Williams, which sent him into the barrier, and in the second race, well, there was a collision again with Gaz Williams that got rid of his rear wing and his boot, and it meant he scored very minimal points last week. So we'll see how Stephan Wessels gets on tonight. Just going to see how he's getting on in practice. He's actually quickest in practice right now out there in the Red Bull Ring, so look out for him tonight, who's going to be looking for some redemption points tonight. But moving on to the silver category now, it's Brandon Vincent-Squibb. He did win the sprint race last time out and very nearly won the feature race last time out. He did run out of fuel, as we mentioned, but he did make it to the line, so he still scored points. He leads the championship heading into tonight in the silver category by 4 points from Alain McKane, who inherited the win in the feature race last time out. Crest Autosport driver moving from NXTGEN Racing to Crest Autosport this season is 2nd position. George Stone in 3rd place, really good strong start to the season for him. 3rd place for him in the Mission R car, and Crest Autosport driver in 4th place, Nigel Stock. Mark Baker in 5th position, followed by Andy White. Stephen Fry, not the comedian, in 7th position. Matthew Cheverton, who's going to miss a few rounds this season, he's in 8th position, followed by Matthew Addy in 9th position, and Dirk Wagner in 10th. Bronze category, Samy Ariba leads the championship following his feature race win last time out at Fuji, and he's got Stijn Weytens, his teammate, in 2nd position, 6 points behind. Oliver Forstrom in 3rd position, followed by Mr. NXTGEN himself, Mark Sykes in 4th position. Kurt Van Hoorneke had a pretty good round last time out. He was contending for the lead in the feature race last time at Fuji. He's 5th place, just 1 point ahead of Stephen de Gravelia, who had a masterclass drive last time out in the feature race in the rain at Fuji, but low fuel filling in the pit stop in that race meant he was sent down to 3rd place in the end for that race. The 6th place in the championship heading into tonight, followed by Jochen Siegert, with Jonathan Berry, who won the sprint race but retired from the feature race. He's in 8th. Davide Favo in 9th place, tied for 8th place, with Maciej Kiziel in 10th position. We're about to head into qualifying, but here is the team's championship. It's Michelin with a very, very good performance from them. They had 2 race winners in their team to get themselves the points for the championship that they needed, leading the championship by 6 points heading into tonight, with Sorrento Motorsports with a very scary lineup indeed. Carl Griffiths, Dominik Pester and Lucas Seedorf, all A-listers in this series, I would say. 2nd place for them heading into tonight. Michelin, powered by Maud, also had a race winner in Samy Ariba in their team, and George Stone with some good points racked up by him last time out. 4th place to Crest Autosport Porsche team, with Nigel Stock and Alain McKane picking up some good positions, especially in the feature race, and the Akiri Cole Dwasser team in 5th position. So that's the point situation heading into tonight. And we're now heading into qualifying. So just to tip off practice there, quickest in the gold category is Stephan Wessels. Champion last season, of course, so looking very, very quick tonight. Benji McCluskey, championship leader, only in 6th. Phil McDougall is quickest in silver category. He did win a race last season. Can't remember exactly where, but he did win a race. He's quickest. And championship leader, Brandon Vincent-Squibb, is in 4th position. And bronze driver leading at the moment is Matthias Smolny, new driver tonight, so welcome along to him. And the championship leader, Samy Ariba, where is he? He's only 9th in practice at the moment, so not a good start to the night for him. But qualifying is where the damage should be done in terms of getting yourself high up in the standings. And of course, in qualifying here, because the grid for the sprint race is not based on categories, it's based on overall positioning, it is crucial that you get yourself as far away from your rivals as you can, because the further away you get away from your rivals, the more cars there are between you and your rivals when you start the sprint race. So it protects you in terms of points potentially, and it's only a 20-minute race, so not much opportunity for overtaking in that race. But qualifying is 20 minutes. And out on the track, the next-gen drivers lead them all out. That is Jamie Dory at the back, Benji McCluskey at the front, in the middle, excuse me, and Gaz Williams at the front. Now, the reason these teams are going to pack themselves together, I imagine, maybe they're going to find their way towards their teammates as this first lap goes on. But I think another good example will be the CSA team, especially Steph Wessels here. Slipstreaming and drafting is crucial here at the Red Bull Ring. If we bring up the track map here, lots of long straights, especially between turns 1 and 2, 2 and 3, the final corner of 10 and the first corner of 1. There's still a very fast section on the track as well, from turn 7 up until 9. Lots of slipstreaming is needed on this track, which means drivers and teams are going to be together in groups. You can just about see it emerging. You can see the CSA drivers here, but you've also got the Quatermass driver cars just behind this that are also trying to get themselves into a group together. But we are going to do a lap of this track on board with our championship leader heading into tonight. This is Benji McCluskey of the Next Gen Racing team, former champion, of course. He's going to take us on a lap of the Red Bull Ring. Turn 1, braking down into 2nd gear. Try not to go too wide. You can go over that sausage curb on the left. It will not invalidate your lap. If you go too far to the left, it will, of course. Now up the hill we go, a very long straight, longest section on the track. Up the steep hill we'll go, and we'll brake into Remus, turn number 3. Down to 1st gear, bleeding it into the corner, then get the wheel straight, flat on the throttle. Over the crest, down the hill, and then over another crest as we approach the braking zone for turn number 4 next. Another right-hander, and another one of these straights here that is quite fast and dependent on slipstream. We've got Gaz Williams up ahead, towing us along. Taking plenty of curb on the inside, then plenty of curb on the outside. Round the right-hander of 5. No braking or lifting required here, but a slight brake into 6. See, it's just a slight trail brake there, hugging the inside, not too much, but down to 2nd gear, which is at quite a high rev range, but it seems to be what McCluskey does, so it must be the best thing to do. 3rd gear around 7, a little bit wide there. That might have invalidated his lap, I'm not too sure. That's turns 7 and 8, and as we up the hill go into turns 9 and 10. Now these are the corners where going over track limits is at the highest risk. You can go off the track quite a bit, but it's quite hard to not push the limits there and go over the track limits. But that was a lap of the Red Bull Ring. It's a very fast lap indeed. 1.5 minutes. Gaz Williams on the standings, and so is McCluskey. Only 0.03 of a second between them. Now let's keep an eye on Stephan Wessels. I want to keep an eye on him because he's defending champion heading into this season. But we have also got rivals to the Gold Championship as well to keep an eye on. Dominik Pester, who's just come across the line there, and that might have been an invalid lap from him because he's not gone onto the board. But Stephan Wessels will be approaching the line now. He'll get across the line. It's green sectors, not necessarily purple, but it is only the opening lap. And of course we've got a new tyre model on iRacing. Now that is a very slow lap from Steph Wessels, and I imagine he has backed off during that lap. But it's still McCluskey at the top of the standings. He didn't have such a good practice session. as Adam Wilson-Weir, last season's bronze category champion, with a very good opening statement there. He's been... there's a big spin there from, I think that was Mark Baker, just spinning off in the background there. And he resets to the pits. He'll have to repair his car because he would have hit the barrier quite hard there. But yeah, Adam Wilson-Weir was fast-tracked straight from bronze category, no silver category, straight into the gold category. He was originally categorized, I think, as silver category, but he's been put into gold category because that's just how quick he is. He was mixing it in with the gold category drivers last season. And it just shows that the improvement that these drivers really can go on, the improvement curve. They can go from the start of the season being quite, I'd say, lower, no offence to anyone, in the ranks. And by the end of the season, or by partway through the season, they really do come into form and contend in much higher positions. And that was certainly the case with Adam Wilson-Weir last season. Now, another driver that actually was doing quite well in terms of times last week is Jopi Siemens. He's put himself third overall right now. I know we've not got the overall standing on the screen, but Jopi Siemens to the top of the silver category and third overall. That's a very good start to qualifying for him. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, championship leader in the silver category. Not a bad start for him. He's quite some time off Siemens at the moment, but it's still a very good position for him. Now, at the halfway point in this qualifying session, I typically switch over to the overall standings because that's how the grid will be formed. But it is important to keep an eye on the category standings here in qualifying as well, because pole position in your category still gets you 1 bonus point for the championship. So it's very important. Bronze category, Elwyn Sykes. Now, a few seasons ago, he was the bronze category champion in GT3. I remember the final round of season 6 went down to the wire at Daytona, and it was a 6-way fight for the championship in bronze category. Albeit quite a large gap between first and sixth, but it still went down to the wire, and it was very difficult to work out and predict to the very last second, and it was Elwyn Sykes who came out on top of them in that thrilling championship finale in bronze category. Last season didn't have such a good campaign, but this season, let's see how he gets on. He's a very good, more than half a second clear of Maciej Kazil in second place in category at the moment. Lucas Seedor puts himself into second place in gold category. Very good qualifying lap from him indeed. And in the top of the silver category, we're just talking about Jopi Siemens, but Paul Williams goes to top of the standings in the silver category here. We've got Nigel Stock, who's going pretty quick in the silver category. I'm just trying to find his name on this very large list of names here. There's over 40, maybe 45 drivers in the field today, and Nigel Stock did do a time, and I was very late for that one because I was looking at my timing screen, not the actual screen you're watching, but nearly a 10th clear of Paul Williams, and he puts himself first in the silver category already. Nigel Stock has switched cars quite a lot over the seasons. Last season was in the Ferrari, and it was deemed the particularly disadvantaged car of the bunch. He struggled with that, but he's over to the Porsche now. Teammates with Alain McKane, and he seems to be thriving with a good time in qualifying right now. That's just been eclipsed by George Stone. And we'll see what Nigel Stock can achieve this season. He's a two-time bronze category champion in NXTGEN Racing GT3s. In the silver category, hasn't quite done it just yet. Now, the defending champion, Stephan Wessels, up to second place, but still 0.3 off Ben McCluskey at the top. Oh, and a big spin heading out of turn number 1. That's going to send him back to the pits, and he'll have to head back out on the track. And Lucas Seedor, as that happens, pips into second place. Onto the front row contention he goes. And Dominik Pester is just putting some good lap times there. And he goes to the top of the standings by more than a quarter of a second clear of Benji McCluskey. That is a statement right there. And Nigel Stock has also completed another lap with purple sectors, goes back to the top of silver category with his teammate Alain McKane just behind, half a tenth. This is a good start in the silver category for Crest Autosport. Harry Langford, who is on his first race of the season, has just completed the lap, but did he go onto the standings? No, he didn't. It was a very quick sector 1 and sector 2, but the third sector was invalid, so he's still got to put in a time. Some drivers who haven't set laps yet. Phil McDougall, who I believe is serving a back of grid penalty due to incidents picked up in round 1 last time out, and there was a spin on the inside there. Couldn't quite work out who that was. I think that was actually Matthias Smolny. Do excuse me if it wasn't. Now, just reverting back to Ben McCluskey. He's on his own out there. No one in front of him giving slipstream, but purple second sector. Not such a good first sector. So let's see how it is. Indeed, it's not quicker. Not too far off of his personal best, but there's still work to be done. As Dominik Pester is looking very quick indeed. Now another CSA driver who's really putting in a good shift in this lap, Jason Raff. And he goes straight to the top of the silver category standings, and he's mixing it in with the gold category on the overall standings. But he's 3/10 clear at the top there. This is looking real good for Jason at the moment. Elwin Sykes still at the top of the bronze category standings, as we see an ECO driver going off into the kitty litter there. Oh, a good time coming in, potentially, from Matthias Smolny on his debut tonight. Cross the line goes, not such a good second sector, but it's enough to go pole position provisionally for the bronze category, and only by 1,000th of a second. Incredible distance between those two drivers. And Paul Williams looking quick tonight. He's put himself into second position, just above Nigel Stock, only by 4,000th of a second. What about George Stone, though? He's about to cross the line. He's been looking quick this season so far. Quicker lap time there, but still only 4th for the moment. But that's still a pretty good grid position. Now, let's switch over to the overall standings. I can hear you're all itching to see the overall standings. But there they are. And this is how they'll start, as it stands, for the sprint race. There's no grouped grids. It is all starting together. Now, Lucas Seedorf with a good first sector. Not such a good second sector. But let's see how the third is. Can all change. Crosses the line. And that was an invalid lap, actually. So we'll have to wait for another one from Lucas Seedorf. But him and Dominik Pester are teammates. They are teammates in the Sorrento Motorsports team. And like I said when we were reading out the points for the team's championship, it's a scary looking team with them two in the team, as well as Kyle Griffiths. Where's Kyle Griffiths tonight? Can't quite see him on the standings. Not sure if he's racing or not. Might not be, but still two drivers of high caliber in this team of Sorrento Motorsports. Only crossed the line, still first, but does not extend his lead. Harry Langford set a time just then, but he's still invalidated lap, so will not go on the board. Driving the Mustang this time around is Harry Langford. He was a strong contender for the championship last season, for the majority of the season, but it kind of slipped away towards the final few rounds. I believe he had a good round at Portimao last season. And Jason Raff up to the top of the silver standings, at the top of the silver standings still. He's in the top 10 overall, and quite a few positions clear of his silver rivals. But as time ticks by, will it get closer? Dominik Pester with a good first sector, not such a good second and third sector. Crosses the line, doesn't go quickly. In fact, another invalidated lap, I do believe. Alain McKane, straight to the top of the silver standings, takes over Jason Raff, puts himself into the top 10, second place in the championship as a driver spins right in front of him. That was Jopi Siemens spinning right in front of him, but it just kind of looked like the Alain McKane didn't really blink. He just ignored it and drove on, but he's looking good here. Is Alain McKane, second in the championship heading into tonight, a future race win. The curse is lifted, so to speak, as I've touted him as, well, not touted him, labelled him, I suppose, as the unluckiest driver in Next Gen Racing, but he won a race last week, and supposedly the curse is lifted now. Gavin Gardner with a very, very good bunch of sectors there, puts himself into third in the standings, the Next Gen driver, who kind of races on a part-time basis, I tend to find. But he's super competitive whenever he is here, and that proves it. Third place for him at the moment, just ahead of his teammate, Benji McCluskey. Okay. Jack Pittas crosses the line, will not go quicker with that lap. What about Steven de Gravelia? He, here in the BMW, was lightning quick in the rain last time out compared to the bronze category. But here at Red Bull Ring in the dry, it is only 8th position for the moment. But it is Stijn Weytens at the very top of the standings now. I might have missed him take first place during this, but that puts him very happily amongst the silver and gold drivers. A long way clear, well, a couple of positions clear of his rivals, and a long way clear of other rivals in the category. As low as 28th, that's Zara McGuinness on their first meeting tonight. Down in 28th, first in category. He's 16th here, so a good start to proceedings for Stijn Weytens. Stephan Wessels did put himself into 6th place just a moment ago, and into 5th place goes Harry Langford. So got a lap on the board. And as Andy Chell, shame to see you not racing this season, mate, but Andy Chell in the comments commenting on the livery. It's a very nice gradient style livery on the Quetamass car there. That we're so familiar to seeing in Next Gen Racing nowadays. Ben McCluskey with a quicker lap. Now he goes to only half a tenth off of Dominik Pester. It's enough for 2nd place, but it's not enough for the pole position. That's the position these guys so desperately want. Racers be racers, they don't want anything but the number 1. So he'll try for more laps, and Dominik Pester is in the pits at the moment, so he will have enough time to head back out there if he indeed wants to set more times. Other drivers out on the track at the moment, as Nigel Stock goes to 3rd place in category. Looking good for the Crest Autosport drivers in silver category right now. There's another one in 5th place in Stephen Fry, not the comedian, but the Crest Autosport driver in 5th place there. It's looking good for them. Seems to be very much CSA and Crest Autosport here are the highlighted teams in the silver category. Championship leader Brandon Vincent-Squibb of the Mission R team in 7th place at the moment. Was lightning fast at Fuji last time out. Probably could have, should have won both races at Fuji last week. An excellent comeback drive in the feature race to take back the lead, but just not quite enough fuel to get it there. Paul Williams with another good time here, puts himself up into 3rd place again. He's looking quick tonight, maybe a little too quick, as he takes a spin, heading out of turn number 1, trying desperately hard to get even quicker, but he'll have to reset to the pits, and he might have enough time to get back out on the track and set more times. Oh, Jack Pittas with a good lap there, following Lucas Seedor up ahead, which was probably helpful in terms of slipstream and probably racing lines as well. He puts himself 6th place. Usually a contender around the top 5 region is Jack Pittas, and a fellow Welshman like myself, so I like him even more for that reason. But currently our pole sitters in each category that will take the bonus points as it stands in each category are Dominik Pester in the gold category, Alain McKane in the silvers, and Stijn Weytens in the bronze category. Outlap for Dominik Pester. He will try and do at least one more lap. It's clouded over quite a lot here at Red Bull Ring. It's not the screen going dark on you, it is the skies here at virtual Red Bull Ring. I haven't actually checked the weather for tonight in Sim, so yeah, I'll be as surprised as you are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens tonight. We did get surprised with rain in the feature race at Fuji, and of course we're heading towards winter now, so it's more probable we are in the northern hemisphere for the entirety of the season, I do believe. We'll check on it with the smaller calendar. Yes, we are. So we're heading it towards winter, bit by bit, round by round, of course. So the chance of rain and cold weather is all the more likely. A lot of cars off on the inside there, waiting for drivers to pass by so they can get themselves into nice clear track and air. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, championship leader of silver category, crosses the line. Will he go any quicker on this lap? It doesn't look like it from the second times. He indeed doesn't. Stephan Wessels, not bad sectors 2 and 3, but he's 3/10 down on that lap. In fact, I don't think it was. I think it was an invalid lap, actually. It's quite hard to tell from my time screen, actually. Now, I want to keep on an eye on, well, not anymore. Matthias Smolny. He is reset to the pit, so that'll be it for qualifying. Stijn Weytens is all the more safer from one driver who's been an imminent threat on pole position in qualifying today. So this is looking good for Stijn Weytens to take the pole in an absolutely cooking livery on the Mission R car there. Whoever, compliments to the chef for cooking up that one. That is a tasty dish, that livery. Well done indeed. As Elwin Sykes, just as we were mentioning about Stijn Weytens being relatively safe, not as Elwin Sykes just about misses out on pole there, or provisional pole shall I say. Second place in category, 20th place overall here. Brilliant stuff. Making it so close in that bronze category, but there's still plenty of drivers trying to get to the top. The checker flag is going to start waving very shortly. There's going to be drivers who just about miss out on it. Davide Favo is one of them. I think he just missed out on the line then, but he'll go to 40th. And Jason Raff just about puts a lap in. He won't be able to do another one, but that's enough to put in provisional pole position at the moment. Like I said, CSA in silver category are looking very quick tonight. Other drivers that are coming through. Stephen Fry will cross the line here. Will he go any quicker? I don't think he will. He'll stay 6th in category. Mark Baker crosses the line. Does he go quicker? We've also got Jonathan Berry coming through in the bronze category. He does go higher up to 4th place. And it's enough for 26th on the grid. We've got other drivers coming through very shortly. Harry Langford is one of them. A flash of lights there. Not sure why. There's a driver in front of him. I wonder if there was a slow driver in front of him that got in the way. Don't quite know. Craig Cornish is next to come through. Off the track he goes. And he'll abandon his lap. Next is Matt Gatter. But no, not to be. Other drivers coming through. Gavin Gardner. There's a lot of drivers opting out of their laps here. Across the line there is Benji McCluskey. Can he go any higher? He's 3rd at the moment. Stephan Wessels, I might have gone amiss at that. He's put himself into pole position. I don't know how I missed that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But he's put himself pole. So a lot of changes in the final moments of qualifying there. It's not over yet, actually. There are still drivers out there as our camera's getting a little bit confused. Nigel Stock still completing a lap here. I do believe he can complete this lap. And he won't. He'll head into the pits. Now, Nigel Stock is nursing an injury tonight, so keep an eye on him. See if he gets his elbows out at all. I'll have to find out. It's quite painful injury, he tells me, so bless him for driving tonight. On a little bit of a parade lap here, victory parade lap, Stijn Weytens does take pole position in bronze category. Likewise, in other categories, Jason Raff in the silver category and Stephan Wessels in the gold category. So is CSA celebrating with their pole positions at the moment. And Mission R through bronze category. But we're not hanging around here, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading straight into the race session. And it is a grid based on the overall standings from qualifying, as we mentioned. And it is very cloudy above Red Bull Ring. I wonder if there is a threat of rain above us. There's only one way to find out, and that's to go racing and watch the racing here. So, on the front row of the grid, for this opening race of the night, here at Red Bull Ring, it's Stephan Wessels, front row, championship defender, and straight to the top of the grid for this race of the night. Dominik Pester, sprint race winner, shall I say, from last time out, is 2nd with championship leader. 3rd place, Benji McCluskey. Lucas Seedor, another contender for the race win potentially tonight, is in 4th place, with Gavin Gardner, strong qualifying from him, in 5th. Jack Pittas in 6th position, followed by Harry Langford and Wayne Douglas. Debut tonight to this season, 8th position. Gareth Williams in 9th position, with pole sitter Jason Raff of the silver category in 10th position overall. Jamie Dory 11th from Alain McKane, 2nd in the silver category. Harry Hartley-Price in 13th, with Adam Wilson-Weir in 14th, with Paul Williams and Nigel Stock, both silver drivers, lining up on the 8th row of the grid. Craig Cornish and Sean Shute on the 9th row of the grid, with the top 20 rounded off with Stijn Weytens, the bronze category pole sitter, and Brandon Vincent-Squibb, the silver category championship leader, heading into tonight. Elwin Sykes 2nd in bronze category, but 21st on the road here, with Andy White in 22nd, with Stephen Fry in 23rd, and George Stone 24th. 25th, Matthias Smolny, who was contending for bronze category pole position throughout that session, is 25th, with Jonathan Berry last time out. He was the sprint race winner in bronze category, is 26th. Matthew Addy, 27th from Mark Baker, and Wojciech Kerp in 29th from Oliver Forstrom. Zara McGuinness in 31st place with Wesley Lewin in 32nd. Maciej Kazil in 33rd from Jopi Siemens in 34th. Robert Savage, 35th from Ryan Blackie in 36th. 37th is Mark Sykes from Stephen de Gravelia. Matt Gatter in 39th, and rounding off the top 40 is Davide Favo, and the rest of the field are Kurt van Honecker, Samy Ariba, championship leader of the bronze category in 42nd, Dirk Wagner in 43rd, Josh Down in 44th, Sean Clark in 45th, and Phil McDougall will start from the back of the grid in this race due to penalties picked up in round 1 at Fuji International. So we're nearly all lined up on the grid. When we get going for race 1, it'll be a 20-minute sprint race. No pit stops to be expected in this race, of course. It's just a dash from start to the end. And it's a very short formation lap, so we'll be getting underway very, very quickly. Once the pace car leaves the grid. And we aren't waiting for any more drivers, we're just waiting for the pace car to set off. Welcome along, everyone. Do give the stream a like, do give the channel a follow or a subscribe, depending from where you're watching. Welcome along to Next Gen Racing GT3 Season 8, Round 2 here at the Red Bull Ring. And this is our opening race of the night. And the grid sets off. And the grid is formed back here at turn number 7, the entry to turn number 7. And the driver's backing up to past turn 6. A very short formation to the start of this race. And all drivers will start together. And the rules of this league are that you must maintain safety car speed until the marshal waves go on the start-finish gantry. You are not allowed to put your foot down when you feel like it. So here we go. Stephan Wessels will lead us to the line and will start us off for round 2 of the championship. And it's Dominik Pester alongside him. The marshal will wave the flag. Now we're underway here at the Red Bull Ring for round 2 of the championship. It's not such a good start from Benji McCluskey. He's under pressure from Lucas Seedorf beside him, and behind him drivers like Gavin Gardner into turn number 1. Vessels leads them through. And there is a spin back there. That is one of the Michelin cars. That's Jonathan Berry off the track. And he'll lose a lot of positions, but nobody got collected with him. But there is a missing rear bumper on Jonathan Berry's car. So that's going to affect his pace throughout the rest of the race. Into turn number 2. And getting very close to each other was Dominik Pester and Vessels. He actually had a bad exit from that corner, did Steph Wessels. But he's able to keep it in front as he blocks the inside as we approach the braking zone, heading into turn number 4. No move yet from Dominik Pester, but Benji McCluskey, championship leader, has dropped 1 place from 3rd to 4th position. Lucas Seedorf has taken over that. In the bronze category back here, it's getting a little bit close. Stijn Weytens still leads the bronze category from the start, but it's Elwyn Sykes up to 2nd place. On a big spin just ahead of us there. That's Brandon Vincent-Squibb off the track, leader of the championship in the silver category. There was contact between him and someone else, and that sent him well down the order. Let's just get a quick shot of that. So there's Brandon on the inside of one of the CSA cars. Oh, and they just come together, and it just kind of tractors or snowplows him off the circuit. He's one of the CSA drivers, and I'm not entirely sure which one. Oh, there's another car off. That's Jamie Dory off in the background there, and he has to rejoin the track. He safely does it, which is good on him. But there's a lot of drivers really struggling, potentially with cold tyres and contact early on in this race. Close together are Stephan Wessels and Dominik Pester. Looking to the inside, but Wessels guarding it very stubbornly indeed. Heavy braking into turn number 3. Lucas Seedor, a little bit of a gap between him and Pester up ahead. And Benji McCluskey is actually losing a little bit of ground. He's got his teammate behind him. He could probably help him along. And meanwhile, in the silver category, it's a good start to the race for Jason Raff. He's got 2 cars between him and his silver category rivals. Oh, as Paul Williams was dropping down the order, but he's actually blinking in and out of existence. Oh, and that looks like a very, very bad internet connection for him. And George Stone is going to be the recipient of that, really. But Paul Williams seems to have got... No, he hasn't. He's still blinking in and out, and it's not looking good. George Stone will be very anxious driving behind him, not knowing where Paul Williams is going to appear, reappear, and disappear. Hopefully that kind of sorts itself out, as it's very difficult for a driver in another car following that. And equally, when you're in the car, it can equally ruin your race. End of lap number 2, fastest lap of the race for... Well, it says on our timing screen, Stephan Wessels, and it was indeed him. Yeah, it was. I'm seeing other things on my timing screen, not sure what's going on there, but he is the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Now, something's happened in the bronze category. Stijn Weytens has dropped well down the order. Just trying to see if I can find it. Yeah, Stijn Weytens off the track here, so this is what happened to the bronze category driver. And he's stuck on the inside there. So we'll see if something's happened heading into turn number 1. Can't seem to go back far enough, but we'll try again. Okay, there we go. This should be it. Right, so this is Stijn Weytens heading into turn number 1. Oh, and sent round by one of the CSA cars, and that's it. And that collects a lot of other drivers as well, I believe. There's other cars spinning. Oh, and that's a massive incident for a lot of drivers there. If we go back to live pictures, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a virtual safety car. No, we don't. We're still going, but it has cleared up by then, so, well, that's quite a surprise. Last week we had a full course caution, but we're back to the front here. Oh, look at that dummy there from Dominik Pester, but Steph Wessels, stops on the apex there, and a big nudge up the rear from Dominik Pester, saying, come on, get a move on there. Red bull ring, more like red butt there after that big knock up the rear. But he carries on, and he's almost to a standstill, was Wessels there. But all this is going to bunch up the field a little bit here. The top 5, 6, maybe as far as 7 with Wayne Douglas lurking around there. Fastest lap of the race is now held by Dominik Pester. He's taken it away from Steph Wessels. Steph Wessels here is stretched away a little bit, and there's a little bit of damage on the front of the car now. But I do often say it's more noticeable, the damage on the Mustang, probably because it's a newer model of car, not too sure. But there's a bit of damage on the front of the car showing now on Dominik Pester. It was an almighty whack at the rear. We'll check back in with this very shortly. Silver category, still Jason Raff leading the race. He won a race last season. I think it was at Mosport. Round 9 of the championship. I might be wrong about that, but I've got a lot of races to remember, ladies and gentlemen. Alain McKane not too far behind, but Jason Raff has had a difficult exit from the corner there. He's going to lose an overall position here to Harry Hartley-Price. We will go to the group standings now, because that's how the points are configured for this championship, not based on overall standings. So Jason Raff is going to be under a little bit of pressure to keep away from Alain McKane, who with this race, with the way it's going right now, could well take the lead of the championship heading into the next race tonight. Now, we won't have live championship updates, but we've got a battle here between Jack Pittas and Wayne Douglas, both in Mercedes cars. Jack Pittas takes back 6th position from Wayne Douglas. A good move there to get himself back into the upper position there. Back to bronze category. And we were going to comment on Smolny leading this race in bronze category, and it's because of the big incident we had in the mid-pack that's really bunched up, particularly the bronze field here. Stephen de Crivelli is into 2nd place, and of course he got himself into a very good position in the feature race last time out at Fuji. But this time around he's in a good position in the sprint race. 2nd place right now. Rob Savage in 3rd position. I don't think Rob raced last week, unless my memory serves me wrong. But right in front of him, Nigel Stock, who might have been collected in that incident that happened just a few laps ago. Missing front bumper and down to 8th place in category. Still going, still pick up points, but he's going to have a lot less straight line speed on that Porsche. As on his inside there's Rob Savage trying to get by. Nigel Stock fights him away. Back to the leaders, and Stephan Wessels has actually stretched away a little bit from Dominik Pester here. Ben McCluskey is back into 3rd place, so Lucas Seedor has dropped behind him. Let's see what's happened to Lucas Seedor. He was in 3rd place at this moment and dropped positions in quick succession to Ben McCluskey and Gavin Gardner. He's in the middle of our screen there. We'll go a bit closer. Big dive to the inside from McCluskey and Gavin Gardner. It looked like relatively early braking from Lucas Seedor, but nice clean moves from the next gen drivers, and it puts him up into 3rd and 4th. Seedor's fighting back here, right on the rear of the Ferrari, not the only Ferrari in the field, one of 3 Ferraris in the field. Our championship defender from last season was driving one of them. He's at the front with the fastest lap of the race. 1 bonus point to him if he can keep hold of that. And fastest lap of the race for Alain McKane, who's getting closer, near a 2nd behind Jason Raff, who's got a couple of cars around him who are going to be eager to get by and contend in their own category. That's Adam Wilson-Weir, the outgoing bronze category champion, now alongside him on the outside heading into turn number 3, and he's much later on the brakes, and Jason Raff tucks back in behind, but now he's got Alain McKane right up his exhaust pipe there, and that is going to be a close battle potentially for the rest of the race. At the halfway point, we've got a battle on for the silver category. Alain McKane looking around there, should just fly past the camera, but doesn't go for the move, does the Northern Irishman. And George Stone also a little bit of time behind. He's in 3rd place here. This is looking like quite a step up from last season. George Stone wasn't really in the mix for many race wins last season, but this season he's looking good for this 3rd place in this race right here, and he's getting 10 overall places in this race so far. Biggest mover of the field so far actually is Phil McDougall. He did indeed start from the back of the grid. Silver category is up to 9th and up to 28th overall. He's the biggest mover of the field so far with 18 places gained. Dominik Pester responds with fastest lap of the race, but only by 200th of a second. And they're stretching away from Ben McCluskey here. Now Ben McCluskey is very good at settling for not winning sprint races, but it's normally the feature races where Ben McCluskey eclipses everyone else, I tend to find, or we tend to find. That is where he's at his best. He takes his time getting through the pack, but he doesn't need to be the fastest driver out there. It's about strategy, patience, and just delivering, which he does week in, week out. Very rarely gets involved in incidents, touch wood. Silver category, 1st and 2nd. Alain McKane's dropped off a little bit, albeit really not that much. But yet to see a fight between these two for top honours in silver category. And Matthias Smolny, I did mention it earlier, it's worth mentioning again, it's his debut tonight in the series. He didn't race last week, but another Mission R car at the top of the bronze category. We're so familiar with seeing that name at the top of bronze category, but in various different driver form nowadays. And Samy looking on course at the moment for a bronze category win on his first appearance. Fastest lap of the race for Stephan Wessels. They're all going a little bit quicker in the gold category, I am noticing. And they're approaching the 28s, which is rather interesting indeed. Identical times. Oh, is that a slowdown for Samy? Might have been, yeah, it is a slowdown penalty for Samy. So that's what we were talking about. It's so inviting to go off the track to exploit the track limits, or lack of, should we say, here at the Red Bull Ring. You can go over the curb, you can go over the white line. It does allow you on iRacing, unlike other sims, race room. But that's what happened to Samy there. He went a little bit too wide off the exit, presumably, of turn 9 or even turn 10. And that's given him a slowdown penalty where he has to lift off the throttle and give back the time that he's gained, and more. Quite a painful experience when you come from more arcadey sims straight into iRacing, which, to be fair, I did that about 15 years ago, to be fair. But it's quite the shock when you have to do that as a sim racer moving over to a sim like iRacing. Off the track a little bit there was Adam Wilson-Weir, who's pushing very hard to try and get into the top 10 here, past Harry Hartley-Price. Adam Wilson-Weir had a bit of a quiet outing at Fuji last time out, although you've got to give him some credit. He's moved from bronze category straight into gold category this season. So there's a bit of a learning curve here for him. Now he might look at this right now and say, well, hang on, if I was in silver category right now, I'd be in first. You're quite right, but you're not. You're in gold category. You do deserve it, Adam. So keep going. Fastest lap of the race then for Alain McKane in the silver category, and he gains a little bit on Jason Raff on that lap. Not close enough to make a move just yet as we're heading to the final 6 minutes of this sprint race. Another feature race to come later on, ladies and gentlemen, a 1 hour feature race that will feature pit stops and reverse grids of each category grouped together. Gavin Gardner and Lucas Seedorf having a bit of a ding-dong here. I think there was a momentary swap of positions there, but Gardner on the outside with Lucas Seedorf on the more favourable line for this corner and the next corner. He's going to have the inside, and he's through already, through 6 and into 7. He's secured 4th place here. Now, that battling has dropped him off of Benji McCluskey a little bit, but Seedorf's back into the position of which he started this race from. The top 6 relatively unchanged from their starting positions. Oh, and we've got Steven de Gravelia, who was second, and he's now facing the wall. So let's just find out what's happened to him there. So this is heading round turn number 4. All goes wide onto the gravel, and it spins the rear round. And he'll rue that mistake. He's going to lose a lot of pieces. He might have a meatball flag. I don't believe he has, but he'll have a lot of damage on that car, and he's now in 5th position and in a much less favourable position than what he was earlier on. Now, fastest lap of bronze category, I believe, was set just then. No, it wasn't. It was by Samy, but Matt Gatta here in a very favourable position. This right here will be Matt Gatta's best positioning of the season if he can finish this off in 3rd place. Not the season, sorry, in his next-gen racing career, should I say. They're a long way off Matthias Samy, 18 seconds. So it's looking very much in control for Samy, unless, indeed, a mistake similar to that of de Gravelia maybe happens later on, but we'll see. He can somewhat relax here, knowing, if he does in fact know, he's leading bronze category right now. And quite a good debut for him. Lucas Seedorf had a very good lap there, a couple of tenths quicker than Benji McCluskey, and now gets back to within half a second of Ben McCluskey. And with the remaining minutes, about 3 laps left in this race, Will he get close enough to try and move? Oh, Wayne Douglas and Harry Langford side by side. Oh, and a bit of a nudge there. Sorry, that's Jack Pittas alongside Wayne Douglas. Douglas chucking it up the inside at the hairpin. He might have the inside going into the next corner here, but Jack Pittas trying to close him off. Heading down into turn number 4. He's still got the inside, has Wayne Douglas. Pittas trying to power around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner if he can keep this going, which he has. He's got his nose in front so far, so this is looking good for him to keep the move, but let's see how they get on through this corner. Trying to advantage to the inside goes Harry Langford, and he's got it at the moment. And he's through. Harry Langford with a brilliant opportunistic move, following his teammate through, and I think Pittas did actually hang Wayne Douglas out to dry a little bit there to help his teammate, but that's superb teamwork from the Quatermass drivers there. That promotes Harry Langford up to 7th position. Getting closer between the two silver drivers here. McCain is right on the rear of Jason Rath as they're approaching their penultimate lap of the race. Not such a good exit from turn number 10 there from Alain McKane, but he's got a sniff of the win here. He won the feature race last time out, and winning this sprint race surely sets him up for a decent championship campaign. Gives him a huge burst of confidence. But equally, Jason Rath, who didn't contend for the championship last season, was contending for the occasional podium. But this could be an equally important win for him as well. Seedorf getting closer to McCluskey again. They've broken away a little bit from Gavin Gardner, but this is a straight up battle for 3rd position. Oh, and there's a car off there. What? Oh, I'm wondering who that was. Lucas Seedorf. Oh, blinking in and out again. There was problems with that last time as well, I believe. There was a car off on the side there, and we didn't catch who it was. I think it might have been Maciej Kazil, and he might have been getting away again out of the way as a back marker. A little bit of a dust of gravel there from Jason Rath, pushing very hard. And I just saw there Adam Wilson-Weir was using his wipers. It might have been that rubber and gunk was flicking up onto the windscreen there. Oh, and dropping down a few positions there is Jack Pittas. I think he might have just had a off-track penalty, and that's dropped him back behind Langford, his teammate, and Wayne Douglas. But still in front of Gaz Williams, but it drops him a few places. And now we are on the final lap of this race. It's still Steph Wessels leading this race comfortably. Now the disappointment of last time out at Fuji International, he can put that behind him now. He's going to start his proper campaign off here with a win, potentially. And his teammate Jason Rath is trying to hang on to a potential win in silver category here. And Alain McKane was looking at a move there, but Rath has guarded it very well, actually. But this might go down to the final corners. Close between the two. We will switch to our eventual race winner here as he approaches the final 2 corners. Redemption time already for Wessels. The defending champion is back on top here at Red Bull Ring in the sprint race. Clinical drive from the Team Woza driver. He takes the sprint race win. Dominik Pester takes 2nd position. Not a repeat sprint race win for him, but a strong 2nd place for him nonetheless. And Benji McCluskey, championship leader. Might still be championship leader after that one, but 3rd place for him. He picks up more silverware. And back to the silver category. McCain couldn't do it. Excuse me, but it's Jason Rath who takes the win in that race, but taking a consolation bonus point from 2nd place there. It's fast slap at the race at the end of the race for Alain McKane to take the bonus point. And George Stone, with a very impressive 3rd place, was rapidly gaining on McCain and Rath in the final moments of that race there. 3rd place for him. And a debut win for Matthias Smolny in the bronze category. A 19-second lead in the end to nearest rival Rob Savage, teammate of his at Mission R. And Matt Gatter with his best ever result in Next Gen Racing is 3rd place in bronze category. His first piece of silverware in the series. But our overall winner, and in the gold category, is Stephan Wessels. A couple of drivers caught in the incident earlier on in the race, around about the third waypoint of the race. And I've just seen on Discord, Benji McCluskey had 0x in that race, so 0 incident points, so he had no off tracks on a track that's so inviting for them as well. And that's quite impressive for Ben McCluskey there. And it's worth pointing out as well, I've just seen in Discord now, I'm not going to repeat all the words, but Matthew Cheverton and the Aztec Racing team are not racing tonight as they're celebrating graduation in London tonight. So congratulations to those guys. Have a good night. We'll see you next time out at Spa, hopefully, which is in 2 weeks. But for the time being, this is Red Bull Ring Round 2, and these are the results of each category from that sprint race. Steph Wessels wins in the gold category by 1.7 seconds from Dominik Pester in second position, and Benji McCluskey rounding off the top 3. Lucas Seedor in 4th place, had to work for that one, but for 4th in the end from Gavin Gardner in 5th place, who was constantly threatening that 4th place. Harry Langford, a good move from him in the latter part of that race, rewards him with 6th place from Wayne Douglas and Jack Pittas. Gaz Williams, the host of this series, 9th place from Harry Hartley Price. Adam Wilson-Weir in 11th position from Andy White. Sean Shute in 13th place from Craig Corish. And Jamie Dorey a lap down. Silver category now, and Jason Raff takes a race win this season. We've had 3 different winners in gold category and silver category so far this season. Alain McKane with another 2nd place for him there. From George Stone, another podium place for him. Stephen Fry in 4th position. His best result of the season so far, with Matt Addy in 5th position from Jopi Siemens. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, championship leader heading into this race and tonight. 7th place for him from Phil McDougall, who started from the back of the grid to finish 8th in category. Nigel Stock caught up in the incident earlier on in the race, is 9th, and Dirk Wagner in 10th position. A lap or more down were Wojciech Kerp, Mark Baker, Ryan Blackie, Wesley Lewin, and a DNF for Paul Williams, which I think was due to a disconnection. Bronze category, and it's a commanding 19-second win for Matthias Smolny in the Mission R car from teammate in Mission R, Rob Savage. Matt Gatter with his first podium in Next Gen Racing, with Kurt Van Hoeniger in 4th place from Stephen de Gravelia. Zara McGuinness on their first race of the series, 6th place. And Davide Favo in 7th position from Oliver Forstrom. Samy Ariba, 9th position for the championship leader, who might not be leading the championship after that race, but we'll have to find out later on in the night. Sean Clark in 10th, and a lap or more down were Jonathan Berry, Elwyn Sykes, Mark Sykes, Stijn Weytens, pole sitter of this race, Josh Down in 15th on his debut, and Maciej Kazil. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the opening race of the night here at Red Bull Ring. Round 2 of the championship. We've got the feature race coming up very, very shortly. In the meantime, enjoy a quick break while we set up the next server and get the next race loaded up. In the meantime, enjoy some Benji Sim photos, screenshots taken by Benji McCluskey of the last race at Fuji. We'll see you in about 5-10 minutes for the next race of the night. Don't go away.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NXTGEN Racing live on YouTube and live on Facebook. This is Thursday night GT3 racing. This is our 8th season of hosting the GT3 Championship and my 4th of commentating it. So you could say I'm, well, as at the end of the season, the longest running commentator on the GT3s at Thursdays. What an honour that'll be. But enough about me, more about the series. A huge shout out to the partners, sponsors and affiliates of NXTGEN Racing that include PowerMaxed, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsports UK, Esports, Saturn Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Doble Motorcycles. If you want to get involved in this series, or if you just want to check out NXTGEN Racing's news, banter, see what the drivers are communicating about, you can scan the QR code to the off centre of our screen there. That'll give you access to the NXTGEN Racing Discord server. Or, if you can't scan that QR code, you can click the link in the description of this YouTube video or Facebook live stream, and that will give you access to the Discord server. We're in round 2 of the championship tonight, Red Bull Ring. Last time out we were in Japan for the Fuji International Circuit. In 2 weeks' time we'll be venturing northwest to the Benelux region. Spa-Francorchamps will host round 3 of the championship, where that will be the first of 3 endurance race rounds of the season. Just a singular 2-hour endurance, no qualifying for it either. It will be based on the championship order of each category heading out of tonight, but they will be reversed. So the leader of the championship heading out of tonight will start at the back of the grid for the next round. That's the consequence of leading the championship. And tonight, as we mentioned, we're here at the Red Bull Ring. Very simple track layout, just 10 corners on this circuit, but a very fast circuit at that, especially for these GT3 cars, where they haven't got quite the top-end speeds of, say, the Formula 1 cars that race here, or perhaps prototype-type cars, but a lot of slipstreaming here, as you can see from the drivers in the background there. And the race we just had, we had 3 different winners, of course, and the gold category, it was Stephan Wessels who won in the gold category there. But after the bad round he had at Fuji, he'd be glad with the win there in the sprint race. He'll feel like his season has started now with that sprint race win. In the silver category, a close finish to the race between Jason Raff and Alain McKane, the former. Jason Raff getting the win in that race, and I think it was Portimao last season he won his first ever NXTGEN race, so I believe his tally's up to 2 now. And in the bronze category, it was Matthias Smolny, debut tonight, driving for Mission R, the Mission R team, takes the win in the sprint race for the bronze category, and by mere 20 seconds as well, so it was quite a dominant win. We're about to head into the feature race now, and the results of the sprint race will form the grid for this race, but it'll be each category grouped together and reversed. We'll go through that grid very, very shortly. Drivers finishing off a little bit of a blast of practice here, just to get acclimatised to the track, and no rain. Rather unfortunately, Matt Gatter can't get into the server right now, so I believe he's missed out on gridding up for this race. That's quite a shame, considering he got 3rd place in the sprint race. Sadly, the show's going to have to go on, and this is the grid for the final race of the night. Starting at the front of the gold category is going to be Jamie Dory, who had an incident in that race that sent him to the back of the pack. Craig Corish in 2nd position from Sean Shute in 3rd position, and Adam Wilson-Weir in 4th position. Harry Hartley-Price 5th from Gaz Williams, the host and admin of this series, 6th place for him. Jack Pittas in 7th from Wayne Douglas. Directly behind in 9th, behind the Quatermass driver of Jack Pittas, is Harry Langford, with Gavin Gardner rounding off the top 10 of the grid. 11th is Lucas Seedor with Ben McCluskey in 12th position. Dominik Pester in 13th position from Stephan Wessels. Ben Oucher in 15th position from Andy White in 16th position. Of the silver category, it will be Wesley Lewin who starts at the front with Ryan Blackie alongside, and Mark Baker in 3rd position with Wojciech Kurb in 4th position. Dirk Wagner in 5th from Nigel Stock, 6th position from Phil McDougall, who did serve a backward grid penalty in the previous race. Gets himself up the field and he'll start 7th in this one. Brandon Vincent-Squibb in 8th position from Jopi Siemens, and Matthew Addy rounding off the top 10 in category. Stephen Fry in 11th position from George Stone in 12th, and Alain McKane in 13th position from Jason Raff, the sprint race winner. And Paul Williams, who had a disconnection in the previous race, will start from the back of the grid for not completing enough laps in the sprint race. Bronze category now, and it's Josh Down who will start on pole position here from Stijn Weytens, who did start pole position in the previous race, but did not have a good finish to that race, and he'll start 2nd here, so a good opportunity for the pole sitter previously to get some redemption in this race. Mark Sykes 3rd, alongside Elwyn Sykes in 4th. Jonathan Berry in 5th position from Sean Clark in 6th. Samy Ariba in the 7th position, championship leader heading into tonight, with Oliver Forstrom in 8th alongside. Davide Favo in 9th from Zara McGuinness. Stephen de Gravelia in 11th from Kurt Van Honecker. 13th would have been Matt Gatter, but he's not in the server, sadly. Rob Savage in 14th place from sprint race winner Matthias Smolny in 15th. And Maciej Kazil in 16th position. And we're going to be getting away very shortly now because there are drivers who didn't quite make it to the server. The server is technically waiting for them to grid up. And now we're underway. Jamie Dory will lead us off once the pace car decides to get going. And these categories will start in their groups. The silver category will start quite a way back, and the bronze category quite a way back. In fact, the bronze category can be sitting there for quite a while. Then by the time they get moving, the race might be getting underway. So it's quite tricky for the bronze category sometimes with these short formation laps to get going in time for the start, which makes things interesting. But they do have to maintain their safety car pace until they get to the line. And it means the golds are tearing off in the distance, whilst the bronze category drivers are still initiating their start. So Jamie Dory will lead us to the line. Jamie Dory did lead a fair bit of the feature race last time out at Fuji. So here we go, we're approaching the line, and the gold category will get underway. It's Stephan Wessels at the back of this, who won the sprint race, and now we're away for the feature race. Good start there from Jamie Dory, but look at that, it's 4 wide already, and one of the cars making contact. That was Adam Wilson. We're on the outside, and it is still 4 wide heading into turn number 1. There's a little bit of contact there. Oh, and a near spin for some of the drivers there. I think that was Wayne Douglas who nearly had a spin in the pack there, and he's dropped a few places already. Not a good start for him. But the silver category are away already, and Wesley Lewin leads them through turn number 1 for the start of this race. And bronze category are now away. Stijn Weytens takes an early lead here, and Jonathan Berry's already up a few places. As dropping back there was Josh Down quite a bit from that start. A car going off wide there in the distance. That was one of the CSA cars. It seems that most drivers have got away safely for the time being anyway. It's Jamie Dory who leads us in the gold category, Lewin in the silver category, and Stijn Weytens in the bronze category. Let's see what Jamie Dory can do here. He's got Sean Shute right behind him. Sean Shute is yet to win a race in the GT3 season, and Jamie Dory had a big wiggle of the car there going through the corner, and cold tyres still, and it means he's now under threat from Sean Shute as we head up to turns 9 and then 10. Dory has the better line into the corner. Oh, he was very close to Sean Shute there. He had to evade off to the outside there. Now he turns into the corner, and there was a Jamie Dory-shaped car on the inside there. Oh, and Adam Wilson-Weir trying to get past it, and Jamie Dory has pulled to the inside there. He's just avoiding others getting in his slipstream. And look at this back here. Gaz Williams looking to the inside here of Harry Langford. He doesn't make it through. Langford's able to power it around the outside. Oh, and getting all out of shape there was Wayne Douglas, and he now drops to the back of the gold category here. And look at this, side by side here. Ben McCluskey. Whoa, and it's so close between all of them. Lucas Seedorf right in the middle, trying to split the next-gen drivers. He breaks down the middle of them. McCluskey's on the outside. Williams on the inside, but they do make contact. And they collect one of the next-gen drivers while they're at it. But Lucas Seedorf drops down the order. We'll get a replay of that very, very shortly. But somehow McCluskey and Gaz Williams got away with that. Gaz Williams actually dropped a few places there. He's now got Stephan Wessels on his outside, who can't quite make his way through the pack just yet. And this is again what happens to Lucas Seedorf. He's right in the middle there. Oh, and there was nearly a big spin there. He jerked to the right. Gaz Williams had to evade as they head out of the corner. Yeah, McCluskey's half off the track and he kind of jerks himself right, and that puts Seedorf into the path of Gaz Williams, who hits his quarter panel, and that sends Seedorf round. So that's going to be a very tricky one for the stewards, I imagine. Or will it? I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been a steward for a very long time, and yeah, not an easy job, let me tell you that. Meanwhile, in other categories, it's still Jamie Dory leading in the gold category, despite the threat from Sean Shute just a moment ago. Wesley Lewin leads this silver category, and Phil McDougall up a fair few places already for second place here in silver category. Great start to the race for him. Might be able to put some right some wrongs following this last week where he picked up quite a few penalties, actually. I can't quite remember what for. But a win in this feature race will certainly put things back on track for him. Stijn Weytens against Elwin Sykes here. Sykes with the fast slap of the race. Jonathan Berry will also be a threat for the win in this series, but Elwin Sykes didn't win a race all season last season, to my knowledge. So a win here will definitely help him out. Side by side between Nigel Stock and Yopi Siemens. Nigel Stock getting by. And look at this. This is side by side between Sean Shute, Adam Wilson-Weir and Jack Pittas at the tail of this battle. Wilson-Weir on the podium here. He'll certainly love a podium from this race. Oh, as he goes wide, heading out of turn number 7, excuse me. And he has to relinquish a position here to Pittas. He's got a much better run, but he's got the outside. No, he's able to get it back in front. He's into third place. Here's Jack Pittas. Jamie Dory pulling away a little bit here, more than a second clear of Sean Shute, and always pulling to that inside there, trying to get out other drivers out of his slipstream. Meanwhile, for the top contenders from the sprint race, Pester is the leader of them, 8th at the moment from Ben McCluskey, and Steph Wessels still back here in 12th position. Lucas Seedorf is in the pits at the moment, I do believe. Meanwhile, in the silver category, Phil McDougall is a lot closer to Wesley Lewin and gets a much better run out of turn number 1. Fast slap of the race also for Phil McDougall, just to add to the pressure for Lewin as we head up the hill. Now, I know Phil McDougall is not frightened of a big lunge overtake in this series, and he's already passed before the corner's even approached. Lewin relinquishes first place to Phil McDougall, and there's quite a gap between him and a lot of the rivals he would probably consider his rivals in this silver category. Look at it all bunched up here from George Stone and Dirk Wagner down. And into turn number 4 we go. On the inside is George... excuse me. That was Brandon Vincent-Squibb on the inside of Dirk Wagner, and through he goes into 6th position. Andy White is trying to go around the outside of Dirk Wagner now as well. Can Andy White finish this off? Oh, he's hanging on in there. He goes a little bit. No, he's not gone wide there. He's still hanging on. Can he complete it around the outside? Going around turn 6. He's doing very well here. And he'll have the inside for the next corner. He does. What a great move from Andy White there in the gold category, to admit. But still a great move. But now he's under threat from Nigel Stock here, who's going to make his way past Dirk Wagner, potentially into turn number 9. And he is through. Dirk Wagner is a sitting duck here. He's now going to be under pressure from Yopi Siemens, who has got Stephen Fry hounding him behind as well. Nigel Stock probably a bit angry with what happened in race 1. Oh, and pulling over to the side there was Andy White. He might have got a slow down penalty following that great move he had. Oh, he stays off the track just to keep out of people's way. That's good going from him. But race 1 winner Jason Raff, he's ahead of his rival in race 1, Alain McKane. So that's good for him, that I suppose. But he's got a lot of positions to get up to get the points that he needs. A little late on the brakes there behind Stephen Fry. For the bronze category, Stijn Weytens still leads from Sykes, John Berry. That's the three-way battle we got at the top at the moment. Mark Sykes some way behind, but he's 4th place. And Matthias Smolny is already up to 5th place in category. Great start to the race for him. Dory still leads. Less than a second though between him and Sean Shoots. In this gold category, it is so difficult to pull gaps. It really requires some amount of skill to do that in this gold category because it is so tightly knit in this category. And Jamie Dory, not a regular race winner in this category in this series. He tells me he's not a particular fan of the GT3s. As we see going wide there, that was Harry Langford, and that'll give him definitely a 1x at the least. But just talking about Jamie Dory, his pedigree is more the touring cars, and he's a multiple champion and a huge race winner in the NXTCC. Rather like to what we have with Ben McCluskey in this series, Jamie Dory is to the NXTCC. Langford and Pester side by side. Pester is making the moves, trying to get up the field. He's certainly a contender for the championship, and he's making it more potent here. 5th place is now his, and he's a few places clear of Ben McCluskey and a long way clear of Stephan Wessels, but there's still the pit stop period to go through. Now, by the looks of it, with the sunlight we got, there's not much threat of rain, he says. I'm not even going to touch wood on that one. I welcome the rain. To the drivers, not. Wayne Douglas with the fastest lap at the race at the moment. Now he's just following on behind Gavin Gardner and Steph Wessels, who are both very quick drivers in their own right. So he's picked up picked up a 1:29 here and the fastest lap of the race. But he's at the back of the gold category at the moment, which probably will not satisfy him. He had a pretty good run in the sprint race, contending around the top 5 spots. Phil McDougall pulling away a little bit from Wesley Lewin. But meanwhile, back here, very close between these three. That is Ryan Blackie at the front of them. Wojciech Kurp on his debut tonight. And George Stone, who picked up a podium place in the previous race. So he's looking very good at the moment for some big points from this round, the way things stand. Really have seen, in these first 2 rounds, really have seen improvement from George Stone. Great to see, and look at this. Is this going to be a dive from Wojciech Kurp? It is. 3 wide now. Going around the outside is George Stone. Oh, and he powers it around the outside out of the hairpin. That was a brilliant blast to the throttle there from George Stone. He might have just taken 2 round the outside of the hairpin there. He has. Brilliant move from George Stone. Move of the night, that's got to be said. And now look to the inside is Ryan Blackie. Oh, he wasn't late enough on the brakes, or Kurp was even later on the brakes. He keeps his 4th place now. What a move, though, from George Stone. That was exceptional. Oh, we do have incidents further back. I think we've seen an incident between Kurt Van Honecker and Zara McGuinness, or didn't see it. We'll get the replay here. Heading into the hairpin. Now, they were battling for 11th, I believe. And the two just come together, not giving each other enough room on the apex there. Not a major incident. One nonetheless. Oh, it's still going on. Oh, and that was Ryan Blackie and Brandon Vincent-Squibb, teammates, getting into each other's doors there. And Nigel Stock is trying to reap the benefits there. He's now alongside Brandon Vincent-Squibb, the leader of the championship, heading into tonight. Can Stock get later on the brakes? Yes, he can. Through he goes. He's up into 6th place. Stijn Weytens has pulled away a little bit from Sykes and Berry, but still under a little bit of threat. Smolny is hunting though. 5th place, fastest lap of the race on that lap just gone. And something's happening. Whoa, that is not good. Steph Wessels. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was someone else stuck on the track there. I'm not entirely sure what that was Sean Shoots. But it was just standing still in the middle of the track. Or, well, from what we saw when we joined it. So here we go. This is him and Jack Pittas, I believe. That is right behind. Oh, contact between him and Pittas. Round goes Sean Shoots. And he stamps on his brake. Oh, and he's right in the middle of the track. And he collides with... I can't quite work out who that was he collided with. But there's a lot of bumpers gone flying. That was Harry Hartley-Price he made heavy contact with. Or who made heavy contact with him. And he's going to have to serve a meatball flag there, which means he's got to go into the pits, get repairs, and head back out on the track. Now, the beauty of this series is you get fast repairs. As we look back here to the battle between Adam Wilson-Weir and Harry Langford. But yeah, you get a fast repair, which means you go into the pits, you opt for a fast repair. It magic wands your car back into brand new. But Ben McCluskey, look at here, trying to move on Adam Wilson-Weir. He completes it. Sneaks straight to the inside. Welcome to the gold category, Adam Wilson-Weir. But I think all except Harry Hartley-Price, Sean Shute obviously, unscathed from that incident. There's a little bit of damage by the looks of it on the front of Ben Altri's car, I think. Jamie Dory on his lonesome a little bit there. 1.7 seconds clear of Jack Pittas, but Dominik Pester is now in the podium positions. 3rd place and right behind Jack Pittas. Let's see if he can line up a move soon. He's looking very good for a very good position in this race. Ben McCluskey is hanging on though. He's a few seconds back and only a few places back. But it's Ben McCluskey. You can never write the guy off. We've got a bit of a battle here between Sykes and Berry for 2nd place. Berry has got the inside going into turn 7. But the better line definitely belongs to Elwyn Sykes if he can continue this. But just hanging on the outside there in the nice Lamborghini there is Jonathan Berry. But he's not on the favourable line for the next 2 corners. Pester and Pittas are swapping places down. There we go. That was the move. We just about missed it. But we will get the replay. Pester is through into 2nd place. And here's how he did it. It would have been a lunging move, I imagine, going into turn number 3, which is the hairpin at the top of the hill. Ironically, this corner is a corner, apparently. This is turn number 3 now. Yep. Traditional lunge to the inside. In fact, Pittas doesn't contest it too much. He knows he's got the move. He's going to slot in behind and try and follow Pester to try and open up the gap to the drivers behind. That's actually a good tactic to have when you know someone's quicker than you. You just follow them and break away from your rivals. This is looking good for Pester. If he can catch up with Jamie Dory and if he can secure the move there, that's the lead for Dominik Pester. And on his way to potentially a 2nd win of the season, he'll be our first multiple winner of the season if he can do so. Stephan Wessels is right behind Ben Autry here. Stephan Wessels, winner of the sprint race, defending champion. Fast lap of the race for Dominik Pester. He's on the charge. And 8/10 quicker than Jamie Dory on that last lap. Wessels trying the inside of Ben Autry here, but the full tilt driver not letting him. Fast lap of the race for Phil McDougall as well in the silver category. A long way clear of his rivals. He's opening up a nice, healthy gap in that silver category. Steph Wessels is going to try the move into the hairpin. He is. He's taken to the inside. Ben Autry contests it and almost stopping again on the apex. There was Wessels. And Autry is able to boot it out of the corner. But now Wessels is under a little bit of trouble from Gaz Williams just behind. Not immediate trouble for a move. What a big dive there from Wayne Douglas to the inside of Adam Wilson-Weir. And Wilson-Weir has to take to the gravel a little bit to just stay away from contact. Down to 10th place goes Adam Wilson-Weir. A bit of a baptism of fire here for him. But you know what? He'll get there. We know he will. Back to the bronze category. Still close. And we just switch back here because Alain McKane making a move on Ryan Blackie there. This will be for 7th place, but Ryan Blackie will have the inside for the next corner. And McCain has got himself in front of... he's got himself back behind Blackie there. Oh, he's going to try an undercut here to go for the inside for the next corner. I'm just looking out for Jason Raff. I'm not entirely sure where he is. He's dropped down a few places to 15th now in category. So Alain McKane against his rival from the previous race. Oh, hang on a minute. Now that is a long way off the track for Ben Austria. Now let's just find out what's happening. John Berry has jumped to the pits. John Berry is going to have another retirement in the feature race, it seems. This is him guarding the Ben Austria guarding the inside, and Stephan Wessels and him come together. Huge amount of netcode there. And all the drivers just filter around Steph Wessels now. I wonder if he feels like he was a little bit at fault there because he washed off wide there. But that has cost Austria's race quite considerably there. Steph Wessels now has more overtaking to do, so this race not going so well for him. And back here, McCain is past Blackie. After we saw him trying to move just a moment ago, Stephen Fry's now trying the inside of Jopi Siemens. I'm just seeing something might have happened between John Berry and Elwin Sykes, and that was the battle for 2nd place. So let's just go back to it. John Berry's in the Lamborghini there, and in front of him is Elwin Sykes. Oh, it's too late, breaking a big contact there, and they both go off the track. Into the tyre wall goes John Berry, and I do wonder what's happened to Elwin Sykes' race from that. He has retired, I think, as well. No, Elwin Sykes is in the pits. And there we go. So that gives Weytens a little bit of breathing room, although it doesn't. Smolny is right behind, and so is Mark Sykes. So these two have joined the contention for top spot. And John Berry is just saying in Discord, I can see there, his pedal switched off as soon as he pressed down on them. I've had that, and actually what you need to do is something, I can't quite remember. Oh, and there's an instant off on the side there. Actually, Jopi Siemens and Mark Baker, I believe. Siemens heads through the corner, spins it round, and off he goes. Oh, and that's Mark Baker following him, I think. Anything you can do, I can do better. A little bit of a scenario like that. I don't want to do that in spinning into the barriers. That'll be a big compromise to their races. Oh, and off the track there goes Elwin Sykes, trying to get out of the way of the traffic there. He is lap traffic now. Now Dominik Pester leads the race. We might, with all the drama we just witnessed, might have missed the move for the lead. Let's see if I can go find it, see how it happened. I don't think I'm going to find it. Must be here somewhere. Nope, won't be able to find it, unfortunately. But new leader in Dominik Pester, he now leads. And Ben McCluskey down in 5th here, and Stephan Wessels down in 9th. And he's got Gaz Williams to overtake, and I know from experience, Gaz Williams is not easy to overtake. Gaz have had many a battle in the past, years ago now, but yeah, he is tricky to overtake. So Wessels has got some hard work ahead of him to try and replicate what he did in the sprint race. But anything can happen in these races, and anything does happen in these races. And this is how the lead changed in the bronze category. Matthias Smolny passing Stijn Weytens at turn 3. And the traditional move we do often see for corners like turn number 3. To the inside, late braking. Through he goes. Now, this could well be a maximum points round for Matthias Smolny, if indeed things carry on the way they are right now. Langford trying to pass Jamie Dory here, and both Quatermass cars are going to contend here for the podium spots. Jamie Dory isn't going to let this go so easy though. But Harry Langford, top 3 contender in the championship last season. Jamie Dory goes a little bit wide there at turn number 5. On the inside now is Harry Langford, and through he goes into 2nd place. Langford didn't race last week, I believe. So tonight is his opening round, and they do have drop rounds in this championship. Now Pettas will try and get himself into 3rd position. The Quatermass cars somewhat working together a little bit here. And quite a different look to Quatermass this season. Only one team. We don't have Ben Bennyworth. We don't have Andy Chell anymore. Quite a shame. Good to see those guys back. But we still have Jack Pettas and Harry Langford waving the flag for Quatermass, a team that I think of quite fondly in the championship in the seasons I've been commentating. To the inside of Jamie Dory goes Pettas, but Jamie Dory is later on the brakes and keeps it going. Back here though, Gav Gardner and Wayne Douglas. Douglas is on the inside. He's able to put down the throttle. That Mercedes is able to get out of these corners really, really well, I've noticed. Still side by side as we head down to turn number 4. Gaz Williams lurking around there as well. Douglas has the better line here. Oh, and he goes a little bit wide there. I do wonder if that was a little bit purposeful. But it means Gavin Gardner has to tuck in behind, and Wayne Douglas is safe through this corner. And he's up into 6th place here. Commanding lead for Phil McDougall in the silver category, going from starting at the very back of the grid in the sprint race to leading this feature race now is quite something. And he's had to do some overtaking there. He hasn't inherited it by finishing far back in the sprint race, certainly not. George Stone having a good night as well. Could well be a contender for the championship this season if these consistent results have told us anything so far this season. He could be in line for another podium here, and that might be 3rd of the season if he can keep this one going. Bronze category, commanding lead also for Matthias Smolny. So all 3 categories look like they've got their leaders well and truly settled in at the moment. Other positions where it's all going to be contended. Mark Sykes passes Rob Savage for 3rd place there. I think that was Rob Savage serving a slowdown penalty just then. And he's heading into the pits. I wonder if that's actually what it was, not a slowdown penalty. But yeah, it's quite a tricky pit lane entry here at Red Bull Ring, because for these GT3s, they can't just stamp on the brakes at the last second like a Formula 1 car can, or a prototype car. They have to steadily brake, and the pit entry line is through the corner of turn number 9, so it's very difficult. If you've got a car behind you, you want to nip into the pits, it's going to be very, very tricky indeed. So that's what drivers have to look out for as we approach the halfway point. The pit stops will start happening, including that of Jack Pettas. He's into the pits. So is Wayne Douglas. So a couple of them are going to start happening now. Of course, next week we have got in 2 weeks from today we've got Spa-Francorchamps. That will be the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. And of course, we'll see more pit stops in those races. And more variants of strategy. Drivers saving fuel. Championship leader in the bronze category, Samy Ariba, is off the track here, facing the wrong way. He's got some work there to get it back in a straight line. So let's see what happened to Samy Ariba. has spun on his own there. It's just one of those where once the car starts going around, and he didn't collect anyone else, thankfully, but once the car goes around, or starts going around, it's almost impossible to catch it. So let's see if any more drivers come into the pits this time around. We saw Jack Pittas in the pits then. Same with Wayne Douglas. Dominik Pester stays out there. And we know a bit of a fuel whisperer, if that's the term. Ben McCluskey is one of them. He tends to be the one that goes longest on a tank of fuel. Now, Kurt Van Honeke's had an incident. He was podium contender last time out at Fuji in the feature race. On his inside, I think that's Stephen de Gravelia. Contact between the two, and again, one of those incidents where neither have given enough room to each other. And that sent him packing down the order. 8th place now in category, and 38th overall is Kurt Van Honeke following that incident. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, leader of the Silver Championship heading into tonight, has struggled a little bit tonight, it seems. Fuji was a dominant figure in the silver category, but this time around at Red Bull Ring, not so much the case. We'll see if this pit stop can turn things around for him. Of course, got Stephen Fry in the pits and Oliver Forsström, who's second place in bronze category until now, of course. We're passing by as Mark Sykes going on another lap. And now Dominik Pester comes into the pits. Just a minute and a half before the halfway point. Langford, Dory and McCluskey are also in the pits, so I think now is when most drivers will come into the pits. So we'll see if any undercut from Jack Pittas will help him out against Jamie Dory and Harry Langford, because he didn't actually pass Jamie Dory before his pit stop. Some drivers have continued on. Gaz Williams, Steph Wessels, Adam Wilson-Weir and Craig Corish have carried on. Heading back out onto the track there, we can see one of the Crest Autosport cars. There is Dominik Pester heading back out. Rejoin in 7th place at the moment overall, so not many drivers to repass. Drivers who still haven't pitted are Gaz Williams, Steph Wessels, Adam Wilson-Weir, Craig Corish, Alain McKane and Nigel Stock. Both the Crest Autosport drivers working together, fuel saving together it seems. And Jack Pittas has rejoined. He's behind Benji McCluskey, so Benji McCluskey has had a good round of pit stop there. There's a lot of traffic around them, and that is not going to help. And there's a couple of drivers here who haven't pitted yet. Andy White, Paul Williams. Of those that haven't pitted yet, and Ben McCluskey, this will cost him a little bit of time, but if he can get through these quickly, it will help him out in trying to do something about Dominik Pester up the road. He's up here, quite some time ahead. Gaz Williams, Wilson-Weir, Wessels are in the pits. McCain and Stock come into the pits. Now these are two that will want to be contending for Silver Category Championship and the win today. Now Phil McDougall is well in control of the race here, but these two will see what they can do. Pester not back in the lead of the race. Craig Corish has carried on here. Has gone very long on this tank of fuel. Phil McDougall resumes lead of the silver category. Alain McKane and Nigel Stock heading back out of the pits here. Wesley Lewin will pass back by and back into 2nd place. Alain McKane will rejoin. He's 4th place. I can't quite identify if Wojciech Kurp has pitted yet. He has, so he's in 3rd place on his debut tonight. Alain McKane and Nigel Stock will resume the race, and they'll see if they can get themselves contending for the podium spots. Now, Brandon Vincent-Squibb is a long way down, and I'm not entirely sure how that's happened. I'm not seeing any incidents from him on my timing screen, so I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Brandon there, but the emergent championship leader out of last week might not well be out of this week. Craig Corrish in the pits, which means Dominik Pester resumes lead of the race, and Ben McCluskey is into 3rd place. A good pit stop there for him. Might have put in a little less fuel because he has jumped Jack Pittas. He has overtaken Jamie Dory on the road though. That's something to bear in mind. Here's how they did it. Let's just see what kind of an overtake it was. Well, he's side by side out of turn 3. Just completes it through 4, I believe. Yes, he does. So he's into the podium spot, and he's going to try and hunt down Harry Langford, which is going to be very difficult for him to do. Harry Langford, no slouch at all. Phil McDougall well in control of the silver category here. 12-second lead to Wesley Lewin. But he needs to keep an eye on his mirrors, does Wesley Lewin, as he's going to have Wojciech Kurp, Alain McKane and Nigel Stock lurking around. But Jason Raff, also the winner of the sprint race, he's trying to get by Ryan Blackley here. He has the inside, still does. And will he be later on the brakes heading into turn 4? No, yes he will, yes he will. Oh, that's a fantastic move from Jason Raff. Nice and clean, late braking. Up into 6th place goes the sprint race winner. Bronze category, however, Matthias Smolny in 1st place, 5 seconds clear of Oliver Forsström, who himself has a healthy gap in that 2nd place. So it's a good night at the moment for Quatermass, 2nd and 5th. There's Rob Savage in 3rd place here, quite a way behind Forsström, but he's quite a distance ahead in that 3rd place, so he's got that quite close to him at the moment. Now all the pit stops have happened. Drivers in their net positions now, and they'll settle down to try and work on catching the drivers that, for them anyway, it's going to be possible to achieve at this point in the race. I would say the biggest one to keep an eye on will be potentially 2nd place in the silver category. Jack Pittas side by side with Jamie Dory, and Jamie Dory might have to relinquish this. He's gone very wide at turn number 9 there. Pittas is through into 4th place. But Jamie Dory is going to try again here. Will he go for a move to the inside at turn number 1? No, he won't. He nips back onto the racing line. Might he try heading out of here and up towards turn number 2? Now Jason Raff and Ryan Blackley are swapping places in the silver category. And there is a spin I can hear in the background. We'll keep an eye on this. Dory tries the outside. He's going to try the undercut heading out at turn number 3. We've seen that work quite well tonight. Blasting it out of the apex of turn number 3. Now he's got the inside heading down towards turn number 4. And lurking around there, that looks like it's Kurt Van Honecker who's giving way to the blue flags there. And through goes Jamie Dory back into 4th position. And Gavin Gardner's lurking around as well. And Gaz Williams is also approaching this. Meanwhile, that's Alain McKane challenging for 3rd place. He's made the move on Wojciech Kurp for the podium spot in silvers. This is how he did it. Another move at turn 3. It's very late braking if it's done here. Yes, indeed. Very late braking from Alain McKane. And well respected by Wojciech Kurb, I must say. Acknowledging there's a car approaching his inside and he decides to give enough room. But he does relinquish the podium spot to Alain McKane, who's looking good to be leading the championship out of tonight, by my rough calculations. Dory's still in 4th here. Jack Pittas hasn't found a way back past him yet, but there's a queue building up behind these two as they squabble away. Gavin Gardner behind. Gaz Williams approaching. Stephan Wessels, we know what he can do. And Wayne Douglas is around here as well. Lucas Seedor's still in this race, 13th position. He might be able to pick up some positions still. He's catching up to Craig Corge, Ben Altria and Adam Wilson-Weir. But Lucas Seedor, where was he in the championship heading into tonight? He was in 7th position. So he's losing more points to Steph Wessels, Ben McCluskey and Dominik Pester tonight. But if he can get himself more places in this race, it does less damage to his championship. That would be quite important. Now, I'm just taking a look to bronze category, and actually, the gap between Matthias Smolny and Oliver Forsström has come down quite a lot. So I wonder if something's happened to Smolny in the last few laps or so. No, can't quite see anything. He's dropped quite a lot of time now. Yeah, but it's now only 4 seconds between him and Forsström. He's got to be careful here. Got to keep it under control. Got to keep it composed. Nigel Stock catching up with Wojciech Kurb here, who's losing quite a bit of time now to these two Porsche drivers. Norwegian in the McLaren there. Under pressure now from Nigel Stock. Turn number 1. Stock gained under the brakes there, was able to utilise the brakes at their best approaching the corner. But there'll be no move just yet from Nigel Stock unless there is a very brave move. And there isn't. Heading into turn 3, we have seen a few tonight. This is the battle for 4th place. In the silver category, that is. And we have 20 minutes left in this race, so we're approaching the 2/3 mark. No more pit stops or scheduled pit stops in this race. As Nigel Stock gets very close through turn number 5 to the back of Wojciech Kurb. The thing is with Red Bull Ring, although turn number 3 offers plenty of overtaking opportunity and provides plenty of overtaking, elsewhere on the track is a little bit more difficult, and perhaps this turn 4 there's a good overtaking spot, but thereafter it becomes quite difficult to overtake. So you are very much using the rest of the lap from until here, I would say, or maybe even after turn number 1, to line up and set up your moves. Let's see what Nigel Stock can do here through turn number 1 as we'll head up the hill towards 3. Stephan Wessels and Gaz Williams side by side. Gaz Williams on the inside of them, but Wessels will have the inside for the next corner. Now, I've already said Gaz Williams is hard to overtake, but Steph Wessels seems to have done pretty good there. It took him quite a few laps past Gaz Williams. But he's now through. He's up into 7th place. Jamie Doy's still in 4th place here, doing rather well. Hanging on really well here from the emerging pack behind. It might get more and more difficult as the race goes on, and there's lap traffic to deal with now as well. That is Maciej Kazil in front, I believe. I frantic flash of the lights there from Jamie Dory to say, get out the way, you've got the blue flags. Oh dear, Kazil in the way of other drivers on the apex of the corner. And look at it all bunch up here. And Jack Pittas really... Yep, that hasn't helped him at all. Gardner's passed. Wessels has passed. Gaz Williams has passed. And all over the place on the side there is Kazil. And that is not helped Pittas at all. And now he's under threat from Wayne Douglas. But if you're a back marker, just get on the brakes and let people by before the corner. Just saying. Because it can really ruin other people's hard-fought races here. And that might have happened there for Jack Pittas. Dory is clear at the moment of Gav Gardner, who's under quite a lot of threat from Steph Wessels here. He's trying the other move, the opposite move he tried on Gaz Williams. Steph Wessels, now the race has progressed a little bit. He's making up those places. If he can get himself into the top 5 or even the top 4, it's still very good points for him. Despite the slowish start to this race, there'll still be very good points heading out of this race. Now, Dominik Pester would definitely pick up the majority of the points from this round, obviously, and finish second in the sprint race and provisionally first here, or as it stands first here. Head back to silver category as Alain McKane is closing in on Wesley Lewin just up the road in second place. Nigel Stock hasn't yet found his way by Wojciech Kurt. Harry Hartley-Price is all over the rear trying to make up some overall positions here, which are very much consolation positions because overall positions do not account for your championship points. It doesn't really matter if you're hunting down other places and positions and drivers in your category. Alain McKane real close. You know what, another second place tonight will be seriously good for his championship. Douglas battling with Jack Pittas behind, and that's Stephen de Gravelia just about getting out of the way here. And this is the part of the race where it gets very tricky to get around the traffic, and both have gone wide there because the back marker of Stephen de Gravelia again not getting on the brakes before the corner to let by the cars a lap ahead. And on a track like this, that becomes more difficult. It heightens more where drivers need to get away from the back markers before the corner. It happens more so on this track because it's a lot more long and sweeping. It's harder to overtake as well. It's a little bit different with Fuji where there are longer braking zones. Silver category. There's not a whole lot going on in bronze category, I'm afraid, to anyone who's interested in the bronze category. We have got Gavin Gardner and Stephan Wessels side by side. Wessels out of turn number 3 has got it alongside Gavin Gardner, and through he goes into 5th position. And you know what? He might get 4th place here. With 15 minutes to go, he may be able to catch and pass Jamie Dory. Yeah, as I was saying, not a whole lot going on in the bronze category at the moment. Zara McGuinness has found their way ahead of Van Hoenecker and Stijn Weytens. Stijn Weytens has started on the front row here in both races and has fallen down the order in both races, so it really hasn't gone to plan for Stijn Weytens tonight. Just responding to a comment on our YouTube chat. Yeah, thank you very much to all the chatters tonight. It's good to see. How are the divisions chosen? So yeah, good question. They are chosen in pre-season, but of course if new drivers join, they are given a provisional category based on their iRating. But typically the top third of the drivers will go into gold category, middle third drivers will go into silver, and the lesser experienced drivers will go into bronze category. But they are chosen on pre-season, and they'll all submit qualification type times. And that's how the admins will decide their category based off those qualification times. They'll have various sessions that they can compete in to put in their times, and that's how they're chosen. And some of them keep their categories from previous seasons, some of them promote up, such as Jeffrey Kruger, who isn't racing tonight, I've just noticed. He promoted up from silver category to gold category because he won the championship in gold silver category last season, and likewise with Adam Wilson-Weir, but because he was so quick last season, he's been fast passed from bronze category championship last season to contending in gold championship this season. So that's pretty much how it's chosen. It's qualification, preliminary time trials, I suppose, in pre-season. Now, we did just caught the back end there of Jamie Dory being passed by Stephan Wessels, and Jamie Dory's under a little bit of threat now from Gavin Gardner, the fellow next-gen pink car. But Wessels up to 4th place, and that will take the sting out of this race a little bit for him in terms of points, with McCluskey up ahead and Dominik Pester. Now, Nigel Stark, we didn't quite catch it, but he's passed by Wojciech Kurp. It is possible to join mid-season, yes. Some drivers have joined for tonight, in actual fact. So here we go, that's Wojciech Kurp going wide at turn 5. Stock's able to get it to the inside for turn number 6. And he just about gets it past. Like I said, it's very difficult to overtake on those corners. You are reliant on a mistake. But then Nigel Stock had to work hard to complete that move. But all that battling he's had with Wojciech Kurp, it's dropped him off the back of his teammate. He's 5 seconds up the road. And now contending with Wesley Lewin for 2nd place. He's going to have the inside for turn number 3. He's got the inside. He's late enough on the brakes. And he's through. Into 2nd place goes Alain McKane. He finished 2nd in the sprint race. And he might well finish 2nd in this race as well, the way things are looking. And he could well emerge as championship leader tonight, will Alain McKane. Likewise, will Dominik Pester. If way things finish right now, it would be between him and Ben McCluskey. I've got a feeling it might go to Pester, though, with him finishing a place above of McCluskey in the sprint race, 2 places above at the moment in this feature race. And in bronze category, I have no idea. It's been a little bit all over the place when it comes to everyone's positions in the bronze category. Samy Ariba leading the bronze category championship heading into tonight. He's not had a good round tonight. He's outside the top 10 in this race. But I have no idea what's going to happen to the championship situation for bronze category. Stephen de Gravelia might benefit, as he is 4th right now and he had a good finish in the top 5 in the sprint race, so he might pick up a good haul of points. But also Matthias Smolny might well, just with his big success tonight, slip into contention with the 1 round he's done. Oliver Forsstrom as well, he heading into tonight is 3rd in the championship, so he might actually be championship leader heading into next round, which is Spa-Francorchamps in 2 weeks' time. Is it full this season, or can I still join for future races? Yes, I don't think it's full. I think you can still join. What I would do is, in the link in this description, join the Discord server and get in touch with the admins. You want to get in touch with Gaz Williams or Mark Sykes and have a chat to them. They're probably the better people to ask about that specific question you've asked. Jamie Dory has dropped behind and Gavin Gardner we saw a moment ago, but Jamie Dory contending well in this gold category in this round. More good points for him, and there's a lot of moments last season where Jamie Dory would just end up in incidents here, left, right and centre. It would really cost him points last season. Oh, hang on a minute, we're going to have to switch to the bronze category as Rob Savage, 3rd place, is off the track here. He's going to potentially lose a place. No, he's safe from Stephen de Gravelia, but is his car safe? Let's just find that out. Oh, the Discord link's not working. Oh, that's great. Okay, in the thumbnail of this video, scan the QR code that's on there, and a spin himself. Oh, it very strangely went around. It might have caught the sausage curve on the outside there, the wrong angle. Yes, scan the QR code that's on the thumbnail of this video. You probably might have to wait until the video and live stream ends, but you should be able to do that. We'll update the link for the next live stream. So apologies for that. Now, Alain McKane is not out of the woods yet. It's still fairly close between him and Wesley Lewin for second place, but I think he is slowly, gradually opening up that gap. So let's have a rundown of our order in each category as we head into the final 8 minutes of this race. Dominik Pester leads by just under 4 seconds from Harry Langford in second position. And McCluskey in third from Stephan Wessels in fourth position, who is catching up with Benji McCluskey. So might we get a battle for third place before the race is out? Gavin Gardner, strong night for him, it's got to be said. Fifth place for him right now with Jamie Dory. Good night for him as well in sixth position. Gaz Williams 7th from Wayne Douglas in 8th. Jack Pittas in 9th. And the top 10 rounding off with Adam Wilson-Weir and Lucas Seedor just outside of it. In the silver category, Phil McDougall is in first place, a 15-second lead to Alain McKane, who is still under a little bit of threat, it must be said, from Wesley Lewin. He's just set his fastest lap of the race. Nigel Stock in fourth position from Wojciech Kurp in fifth position. Jason Raff, the sprint race winner, is sixth place here from Matthew Addy in seventh, Ryan Blackie in eighth, Stephen Fry in ninth, and championship leader heading into tonight is 10th in this race is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Matthias Smolny is in first position, just under 5 seconds clear at the moment in bronze category, holding the lead to Oliver Forstrom, who could be the championship leader in bronze category heading out of tonight. Rob Savage, who we saw took a spin just not too long ago, still in third place, but a long way behind first and second. And Stephen de Gravelia, 10 seconds back, is in fourth place from Zara Guinness. Kurt Van Honegger not too far behind the fifth place driver. Is in sixth from Elwyn Sykes, Josh Down, Sean Clark, and Samy Ariba, who is leading the championship heading into tonight. That's the top 10 of each category as we head into the final moments of this race. I would say, I suppose last week was a little bit more exciting in the sense that there was rain, but I would say this has been a much more action-packed race, actually. A lot more drivers getting through the pack throughout the whole race, but the battles have kind of dissipated a little bit here. Closest battles are Gaz Williams versus Jamie Dory, and in silver category Wesley Lewin up against Alain McKane. There we go, this is Kurt Van Honegger. We'll go back to that against Jopi Siemens, I think that is, yeah, but they're different categories, separate categories. But maybe we'll get championship update after the race is finished, but what we will get after the race is interviews. And normally we get interviews with the race winners. We'll see if we do tonight, but otherwise there'll be other drivers who are willing to speak to us at the end of the night. Well, I think we got a new face to the league, a new face at the top of the standings, contending for the championship potentially, and a new threat to our previous champions McCluskey and Wessels. Dominik Pester has put himself down as someone to beat in this championship tonight. He won the opening race of the season. And there's a car off on the side there. That was Samy Ariba in the bronze category. Really not going well for him tonight. But Dominik Pester would become our first multiple race winner this season. Potentially along with Matthias Smolny. And it could well be championship lead for Dominik Pester as well. Just depends on how the points end up at the end of the night. Gaz Williams still closing in on Jamie Dory here, and coming into that battle is actually Wayne Douglas. Potentially Jack Pittas, who might be able to try and make up some more points here. Jamie Doyle getting a little bit of a slipstream there. One of the CSA cars. Jamie Dory really getting stuck into these battles tonight. When will Gaz Williams leave it until? Under a little bit of threat, as I mentioned just then, from Wayne Douglas. Stephan Wessels is now close to Benji McCluskey, so we might well have a battle for third place here. And there's back markers up ahead who are not going to help things for McCluskey. Let's see how quickly they can dispose of them. That's Mark Baker up ahead. And one of the Mission R cars. I think that might be Samy Ariba. Out of the way goes the Mission R car. And Mark Baker not yet getting out of the way. So this is the battle for third place between the two championship rivals of last season. Oh, and that was close between McCluskey. But look at that. Nice little undercut move there from Wessels. He's now alongside McCluskey. So we're heading towards turn number 1. McCluskey's trying desperately to prevent the move. But Wessels has it. Now McCluskey has to respond, and he's going to try and undercut heading out of turn number 1 here. Just see on the left there, that's Steph Wessels, but who's later on the brakes? Both brake at exactly the same time, but McCluskey is through. Back ahead. He goes straight to the inside to guard that inside for the next corner. McCluskey did well to get that back, to be fair to him. Now to the outside goes Steph Wessels. If he can hold it round the outside, he'll have the inside for the next corner. Oh, and a little bit of a shove of the shoulder there from McCluskey. But is Wessels still alongside? Just about. Yes, he is. To the inside he goes, but McCluskey's trying to power it around the outside. They're so close together on the apex. Inside again for Wessels, but can McCluskey power around the outside here to keep it ahead? Yes, he can. He'll have the inside for the next corner. Wessels will have to try again on the next lap. Dominik Pester will start the final lap here. His victory lap approaches him. But we have this battle to secure for third place in this feature race in gold category. Up towards turn number 1. No trouble for McCluskey on this time around, but it was a very opportunistic move last time around for Wessels. He teases the move into turn 1. But this... Oh no! He spins it round! He hits the curb too hard and round it goes! Pushing way too hard there was Wessels. Oh, and he nearly reversed into the traffic. Then he's going to lose loads of positions. Down to 9th at the moment. He might well lose out to 10th. That's Adam Wilson-Weir approaching. Absolutely no contact between McCluskey and Wessels there, I do believe, and he's now dropped to it's still 9th place because that's a back marker who's just passed him. But let's get on board with Steph Wessels. He teased the move here into turn number 1. He hits the curb on the inside. Get ready. There. No, it was actually the outside that sent him around. The car was a little bit unsettled heading out of turn number 1. But it was on the outside there that just sent the car around. And all that hard work from Wessels is undone now. He loses a lot of points as a result. But someone who's gaining a lot from tonight is this man here. Dominik Pester will be a multiple winner this season. The first time one we've got this season. This is a car off on the inside there as we're greeted the winner of gold category through. Pester is a 2-time winner this season. Langford comes through in 2nd place. Brilliant return to the series for him. And Ben McCluskey, well, he had to work for it, but 3rd place for him in this race. Still yet to win a race this season. Phil McDougall would have felt probably down in the dumps because of his penalties from the last round. But a 1st place in this silver category feature race will make him feel a lot better. That is a win for him in silvers tonight. Alain McKane is going to come through. Oh, but he'll spin it on the way to do so, and he's going to lose 2nd place to Wesley Lewin. He'll come through to take 2nd place as Alain McKane just completely loses it. Now, I wonder if something's going on with the tyres at this point, because Wessels and Alain McKane have both binned it on the final lap. McCain still comes through in third and Wesley Lewin in second. But, wow, that was a strange moment. Okay, everyone calm down, please. Let's get everyone through. And Smolny has only just hung on here to first place, as Oliver Forsström was only a second behind in the end. But Smolny will pick up the win of the race here and will pick up the bonus points. And I believe that is a maximum points round for him, albeit Oliver Forsström really not that far behind, and he had a good push there. If he only needs a few more laps, I reckon, to try for a win potentially in that race. Second place to him, and third place finished already, Rob Savage in the bronze category. So here we go. Here are the provisional results of the gold category in our feature race then. Dominik Pester, first position with his second win of the season from Harry Langford, and Ben McCluskey rounding off the top three. I believe for McCluskey that is 4 podium finishes on the trot. Yes, indeed it is. Gavin Gardner, 4th position from Jamie Dory. Gaz Williams in 6th and Wayne Douglas in 7th. Jack Pittas in 8th. Very unlucky in that race. It's got to be said. But 8th place is still a good finish for him. Stephan Wessels spinning on the final lap. Dropped from 4th to 9th place. And he finishes just ahead of Adam Wilson-Weir, getting into the top 10 of the gold category. And considering he was bronze category last season, that is good going from Adam Wilson-Weir. Lucas Cedar, 11th position from Craig Korsch. Ben Altry in 13th and Harry Hartley-Price 14th. Andy White and Sean Shute round off the finishers. Silver category now, and it's an opening win of the season for Phil McDougall. He wins by 18 seconds from Wesley Lewin, who takes it from Alain McKane, who makes that mistake on turn 9 on the final corner to get himself 3rd place in the end. From teammate Nigel Stock in 4th. Wojciech Kurp, a very strong debut for him, 5th place, shall we say, in this feature race. Jason Raff, the sprint race winner, finishes in 6th place in this race. Matthew Addy, quiet night for him, I would say, 7th place. Stephen Fry in 8th place from Brandon Vincent-Squibb, who will probably relinquish the lead of the championship tonight. He's 9th place. And a lap or more down for Paul Williams, who did rejoin following his disconnection in race 1. He's 10th from Ryan Blackie, George Stone, Mark Baker, Jopi Siemens and Dirk Wagner. Bronze category, Matthias Smolny with a maximum points round for him tonight, just ahead of Oliver Forsström. We had a brilliant fight back to nearly contend for the win in that bronze category feature race. Robert Savage, 3rd place from Stephen de Gravelia. Zara McGuinness on their debut, 5th place, a strong result. Elwyn Sykes, 6th from Kurt Van Honecker. Sean Clark in 8th from Josh Down on his debut tonight. Samy Ariba may well relinquish the lead of the championship tonight, is 10th position. Maciej Kazil in 11th from Davide Favo. Mark Sykes, and non-finishers were Mark Sykes, Stijn Weytens, John Berry and Matt Gatter. Well, we'll see if we get some interviews, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one thing that has resumed from last time out at Fuji to this week is final lap drama. We did have it in spades last week with drivers running out of fuel, drivers spinning. And it's happened again this week. Alain McKane spinning on that final lap. Same with Stephan Wessels. Both drivers contending for championships in their categories, and desperation at driving to keep themselves competitive in this series. That's really what it is in this series now, and particularly with a new tyre model, that might be affecting things here. Now, I haven't actually driven the new tyre model yet. I probably need to. Right, we're going to go back to the beginning of the race. While we wait for some interviews. So let's have a look at Dominik Pester's opening lap. Let's see what he managed to achieve on lap 1 then. Nice neutral start there for Dominik Pester. What he did so well tonight. He was able to get through the pack, and it all bunches up ahead, and all you can do is just hold your brakes, hold your throttle, and just find the gaps and be patient. He gets around Wayne Douglas there. Now he decides to switch to the inside. He eases off the throttle nice and early, and that just shows maturity and patience on the opening lap of the race. Right, we are going to go to our first interview of the night. We are going to talk to someone I haven't talked to for a long time, actually. We're going to chat to Jamie Doris just before we bring him in. Jamie Dory is going to join us in the comms booth for the first time in a while, actually. So, Jamie, welcome along, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. It's good to be back live streaming and broadcasting. Jamie, your night tonight, 5th place in the feature race. Quite good. Are you quite pleased with that tonight? Because you were in a lot of battles there.
Yeah, well, I knew picking the Audi that the first 2 rounds would definitely not be its strength with the straight line speed. So to finish where I did, I'll take that. That's why I thought I'd pop in.
Absolutely, and we're just watching in the early laps here, you pulling to the inside to prevent the slipstreaming here. How hard is it battling with those drivers who are, I would say, cutthroat in this series? Because you're one of the big hitters, I would say, in the NXTCC, but we've got other ones lurking around you in this series. Just what is it like battling with those guys in this series? The likes of McCluskey and Pester, etc.
Yeah, well, obviously GT3s aren't my forte, should we say. So, you know, I pick a car I enjoy, I like. The Audi is massively down in straight line speed and fast corners. So it's just the stopping and acceleration turn 3 or turn 2 as you look at it here was the only real strength for the car. And that's where I could defend, attack and so on and so forth. The rest of it is just trying to race fair, hold people up and just use what I enjoy doing, which is defending and going out for a good night's racing, really.
So I know you quite well, and I know you like to pick the obscure cars for this series, and is that exactly what you've done here to pick the Audi this season? Because no one else is driving it. You're the only one driving it.
Kind of, but it's also when I tested the car, I hate understeer. I generally like a loose rear end in terms of racing, but it's trying to find a car that suited me. And the Mustang's very quick, the Lambo's very quick. You can see the cars that are the ones to go to. However, I found in tow and things they were quite dull, where the Audi's a bit more lively. So the oversteer is a bit more apparent. So it suits my driving style. And also, like you say, being a bit obscure. I think later on in the series, when we're at a bit of tighter tracks, I think that's when the Audi's really going to shine.
Absolutely. And let's talk about rounds later on in the season. Now, we've got Spa coming up next, an endurance round. Might not be another track suited to the Audi, long straights, but lots of corners.
I think that'd be, let's try and latch on to someone who's got a lot of grunt and horsepower and just try and stick in their toe, really, for 2 hours. That's what I'm expecting there, so, yeah. But
we got Imola after that, and that might be one suited to the Audi. Am I right?
Yeah, so going forth, Imola Thruxton, Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch, and potentially Nürburgring, I think are going to be its strength. Just heavy braking. I think the Audi's so late on the brakes and drive out of a corner. I think they're going to be the ones I've really got to push.
Excellent stuff. And what are your plans for this season? Because you seem you're one of the drivers who just seems to get caught in instance here and there, and you don't have much luck in this series. But what is your ambition for this season? What will you consider an achievement?
Well, I think it's the same as when I drove the MP4-12C at Le Mans before it was retired into Legacy and the 720 came out. It's just an overall win, whether it's a reverse grid or a sprint, whatever it may be. It's to try and take that car everyone underestimates into a win. And once I've done that, I'm like, yeah, all right, I've done well. So, yeah.
Well, let's look out for that win this season then. Lovely. The floor is yours, Jamie. Is there anybody who might be watching the broadcast that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, really quickly, the usual, everyone who races, obviously being one of the admin here, everyone who takes time out to race, we wouldn't have a series about them. The people behind the scenes, the administrators, Gaz who runs it, Mark who's helping him, Ian tonight, Paddy, so on and so forth. Obviously yourself, Alex, who sits here and commentates, and you do a stellar job and make it look 10 times better than maybe us in the cars feel like it is. So yeah, just everyone who's a part of it, really. So thank you, everyone.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Jamie. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Spa. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Alex. Bye-bye.
There we go. Jamie Dory chatting to us. We don't often get a chat with Jamie, so it's nice to chat with him once in a while. I don't think we have actually any more interviewers, but what we can deliver for you now, ladies and gentlemen, is the points heading out of tonight. Now they have been updated, so let's take a little look and let's see what's happened. So in the gold category, Dominik Pester comes out as championship leader. Big haul of points compared to other drivers, so he'll lead the championship by 5 points heading out of tonight from Benjamin McCluskey in second place. Jack Pittas, justice for Jack Pittas, as I've seen in the YouTube chat. Third place though, so his consistent point scoring is rewarding him, and he is third place heading out of tonight. Lucas Seedor, another night where one race just hasn't gone his way, another feature race that just hasn't gone his way, but he's fourth place. He's still in with a shout, but points are tricky at this point. Jamie Dory, fifth place. We just spoke to him. A strong championship position for him at this point, with Gaz Williams, the host of the series, just behind. Steph Wessels could have been a lot higher in the championship had he not spun on that final lap, but seventh place is his for the time being. Brandon Schmidt, who didn't race tonight, is in 8th place from Adam Wilson-Weir, the outgoing bronze category champion, and Harry Hartley-Price in 10th position. Silver category, and as I predicted, Alain McKane is championship leader after tonight. Just 1 point shy of what he scored at Fuji last time out, but he has a very, very healthy 13-point lead to Brandon Vincent-Squibb, who relinquishes the championship lead. Second place for him. Andy White is in third position. Now, I've had him all night on the timing screen as gold category. He's actually a silver category driver. We'll update that for next week, so apologies for that. But he's third place out of tonight. Nigel Stock, fourth position from Jason Raff, just behind him, who won the sprint race, of course, tonight. Stephen Fry, nice consistent point scoring from him this season, is sixth. And Phil McDougall, who picked up a lot of penalty points last time out, gets a lot more points this week and is tied 6th place, along with George Stone, who was doing well until the feature race where something's happened to him and he dropped down the order. He's 8th in the championship heading out of tonight. Matthew Addy 9th from Wesley Lewin in 10th. Bronze category, and as I predicted, Oliver Forsstrom leads the championship, but only by 1 point from Samy Ariba. So despite Sammy's difficult night, he still is very close to the top spot. He's only 1 point behind Oliver Forsstrom, but Stephen de Grivelli is only 3 points behind the leader in third place there, and only 4 points behind the leader is Kurt van Hoeniger. Could we have a repeat here of Season 6, where it was close all the way to the final moments? Let's see. Robert Savage in 5th place, a good feature race finish for him, with Matthias Smolny, I think that's maximum points out of tonight, 6th place heading out of tonight. Elwyn Sykes 7th from Shawnee Clark in 8th, David A. Favre 9th, and Stijn Weytens 10th. And the team's championship is Sorrento Motorsports with a real good night through. Dominik Pester tonight gets first place in the team standings heading out of tonight. They take over the lead from Mission R, powered by Mords. Second place for them. And in fact, it is Mission R that dropped down to 5th place from the lead of the championship. Up to third place is two-man team Crest Autosport Porsche, into third place with Alain McKane and Nigel Stock scoring the points for them tonight. Quatermass Motorsport, Jack Pittas, Harry Langford with his second place, of course, and Oliver Forsstrom with his second place in the feature race get them good points to keep themselves 4th place heading out of tonight. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We we are not going to wrap it up there. We're just going to chat actually to one more driver. We're going to chat to Alain McKane now, who's politely joined us for an interview. So, Alan, welcome back to the comms booth. We chatted to you last week. Welcome back. How are you right now, Alan?
Not too bad.
Quite a tricky night, actually, getting yourself through the pack, getting yourself to the top, and third place in the end in the feature race there, and a second place in the sprint race, so a good haul of points there. But we have to ask, what on earth happened on the final lap?
To be quite fair, it was in the back of my mind that I hadn't spun.
Well, you definitely did, let me tell you that.
Coming out onto the back straight, the steering seemed to be very light. And when I turned in, I had no feeling, and it just broke free. Fair enough, I was able to sort of catch it and bring it back without hitting the wall, which saviour. But a finish is a finish. It's more points.
Yeah.
It's what I'm after.
Absolutely, and more points tonight means that you lead the championship heading out of tonight, which I'm sure you're extremely glad to hear, because Alan, it's been a long time since you've had much luck, really. I don't know about other series, but in this series you just seem to be plagued with bad luck, and touch wood that it might have lifted now, but it's looking real good this season. Is that how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, I do. I feel, I wouldn't say I'm at my best, but I feel that things have improved, and the hardware issues I was having previous seasons are finally cured, which is going to make a big difference, which is a big problem in the last few seasons. I had at least a couple of rounds where I had hardware issues, whereas this time I've touch wood, everything's been fine so far.
Yes, absolutely, and we're just getting the replay of the spin there. You can just see that he just swings round on the apex there, and when you have got no feeling, especially on iRacing, disaster can happen. But how are things in the team at the moment? You're a brand new team for you at the moment, Alan. You've joined Crest Autosport from NXTGEN. How are things in the camp? Because you and Nigel seem to be working pretty well together out there. You're getting quite close together on the track and seem to be bumping up the positions quite well in these races.
Yeah, it's I must say it's nice to be able to come in to a team and help each other out. We all help each other. We all try to help each other. Sometimes people listen, sometimes they don't, but we will get round to it. We will all get our heads together for the next round and do a bit of practice, maybe next week or something, and yeah, things are feeling good within the team. Everybody's friendly, everybody wants to work together, and all seems to be good.
And he hasn't been told to say that, ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you of that. But next time, we got a week off next week, Alan, but next is Spa-Francorchamps, first of the endurance rounds. You could be starting at the back of the grid, but how is Spa for yourself? Is it a track you particularly like?
Yeah, it's a track that may produce results. Now, the last time we drove Spa, I had a hardware issue, which wasn't good.
No.
The steering wheel cut off the last time I was there, but as I say, touch wood, this time everything goes well, and I'll be round about the front somewhere of the silver class. I hope to be.
And just before we shoot off, Alan, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching the broadcast?
Yourself for doing a wonderful broadcast. Teammates for keeping me sane. And NXTGEN for putting on the league and all the drivers within it. It's if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be as much good racing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Alan. Lovely. Thanks very much, Alan, and congratulations on taking the lead of the championship tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Spa.
Thank you very much.
There we go. That was Alain McKane. And we have got another volunteer to be interviewed. Now we are going to jump back to somewhere in the race. But we are going to chat to an old familiar face to the comms booth. We're going to chat to Andy Chell on behalf of the Quatermass team. Andy, welcome back, mate.
Hi, mate. How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So, as boss man, I suppose, of Quatermass Motorsport, you must be pretty pleased with your drivers tonight. They all did very, very well.
Yeah, they did. I am ecstatic. I've already told them, all three of them, how happy I am with how they've done tonight. Obviously, a little bit of commiserations for Jack in the feature there. A little unlucky with back markers that cost him a little, but yeah, absolutely fantastic results. And given that they're all three, I don't want to say new to the cars, although Harry bought the Mustang last night. Very strong results. And I think, as I said in chat earlier, these guys are just going to get quicker in these cars as they get used to them. They've all come off the back of the Porsche. They're all three in very different cars, so it's going to get better with them throughout the season. So yeah, good strong result tonight, and it should start carrying through really well.
Absolutely. Now, I do seem to remember from previous seasons that Quatermass tends to have continuity, I suppose, in the team in the cars they picked. What's been the process this season? Because you're all in three different cars. Langford's in the Mustang, Jack's in the Mercedes, and Oliver's in the McLaren. What's been the deciding process for that?
Honestly, it's the Porsche's weakness with the fixed setup that's caused it, and it's inherently difficult to dial that out just using the brake bias. Something I struggled with last season, and when we were testing prior to start of this season, all three drivers were saying the same thing of they can't get the car to do what they want. So we relaxed our policy. I mean, it's not an enforced policy of this is the car we're going to run. But we do like to try and keep that continuation, just so, as I've said before, so if the someone's struggling on one particular track, everyone's in the same car, everyone can help coach and get the best out for everybody. But this season, it's not to say it's been a free-for-all, but it has very much been we have seen the inherent flaw that the Porsche has when it's on the fixed setup, opposed to when you can play with it and make it work for you. So go out, do a little testing, come back and let me know what you fancy. And they all came back with three different answers. And to be honest, I think the approach that I went with, which was you've given me good justifications, because they were doing lap times that were seconds faster than they were doing in the Porsche. So it's you give me the justification, go out there and do it, let's see how you do. Happy to support. We got two cars created, so deliveries for the McLaren and the Mercedes, because we haven't ran them previously, were created as quickly as we could get them done. So I do need to give a shout out to our designer for getting them all badged up for us as quickly as he could. And then this is very much a trial of if it's a fixed setup and you guys are struggling, what can we do? And I think, to be honest with you, it's an experiment that's working. So I'll take credit for that. I'm happy. But no, in all seriousness, it was a driver-led decision of we know there's an issue. What can we do to resolve that? And like I say, these are the three solutions that we came up for. So.
Oh, there we go then. Well, it is paying off, because Jack's third in the championship heading out of tonight. Bit of a gap to first and second, but still third nonetheless. Someone's commented Jack consistency pitters in the comments, and I think that might stick, because he is one hell of a consistent driver. And in the bronze category, Oliver leading the championship now. So things are great, aren't they? Yeah, they are. They are really good. I think that might be Jack's dad. I'm not sure. If it isn't, apologies. But no, and that actually mirrors something I said to him, and it's something that I always said to you, and when I was racing in previous seasons, is it's great getting a win, but a championship's made out of consistency. So
and that's what the gents are going for. I made the comparison, not that this is a reflection on either of these two drivers, but we want the Oscar Piastri approach, not the Charles Leclerc approach. So that's what they're going with. The guys are just gonna, you won't see them taking last minute lunges. They're going to be sensible about it, because they're all aware that at the end of the day, it's points at the end of the season that make prizes and not points in one race. So you'll see them. They will race. That's not to say they're not going to race, but they are going to be clever. Jack and Harry will work together as best they can. I think you saw that tonight when they got close to each other. They were working very closely with each other to work their way around cars, and that's exactly the team spirit that we have. I'm absolutely ecstatic, mate. Apart from the fact that I'm not racing this season, because I'm missing some really good racing, so I am missing that. But
you certainly are, but hopefully we'll see you and Ben back at some point in the future. But let's talk about the next round. I don't know if you spoke to the guys yet about Spa, the next round yet, but how do you think the guys will get on there?
We're in early talks, because there is a couple of weeks before that, before Spa. So it's going to be interesting, because obviously we've got Jack and Harry in two very straight line, powerful cars. So down the Kemmel Straight, the Merc and the Mercedes are going to be incredibly quick. Out of the three, the McLaren seems to be more of an all-rounder, so I expect that where the Merc and the Mercedes might struggle in the middle sector, the McLaren probably won't struggle as much, but that it's still very quick in a straight line. So cautiously optimistic, but you never know until the day, do you? Because you don't know what's going to happen around you. But and
anything
like
happens in these endurance rounds, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah, we both know from experience that if something can happen, it will happen. So the guys, like I say, the guys are looking really looking forward to the round. To be honest, they do enjoy the endurance rounds, because it is a lot of tactical side to it. We probably won't have the sort of support in that race that we do have with others, because again, like I say, there are a few others that are called away for other duties, so they might not have the same level of input on the back of the scenes where we've got people doing strategy and things. That said, we've got quite a few drivers that are able to do that. So but again, we'll sit down, we'll do the run plans for them, and as long as everything goes to plan and it executes well, I expect really good results for all three drivers, because again, they are very talented gentlemen. So
lastly, Andy, the floor is yours. Does anybody want to give a shout out to on behalf of the team?
Yeah, on behalf of the team, first and foremost, all three drivers. I've said it a few times, but you are doing fantastic, and they are really carrying the Quatermass name very well. So we're very proud of what they're doing. Everybody at NXTGEN, they know we love racing with them, and we love the rounds that they put on for us and allow us to come and enjoy and show off our skills. And obviously yourself, matey, you do a brilliant job putting on these streams, commentating for hours on end. I don't know how your voice does it, mate. I don't know how you manage it, and you make it look easy. So again, thank you very much for that, because if you didn't showcase us, we wouldn't get the exposure that we do. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Andy. Pleasure as always, mate. Don't be a stranger, especially when your team's doing well. We'll see you guys next week at Spa.
You will indeed. Thank you very much, matey.
There we go. Andy Chell, on behalf of the Quatermass Motorsport team, consisting of drivers Harry Langford, Jack Pittas, also in the gold category, and in the bronze category, Oliver Forstrom, who, newcomer to the series, doing very well in that bronze category, leading the championship out of tonight. So that's going to be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap up our night of racing. So just a reminder of the top three in each category. It was Dominik Pester who won the feature race, and the winner of the sprint race was Stephan Wessels. The second place in that feature race was Harry Langford and Benjamin McCluskey, also on the podium. Silver category in the feature race was won by Phil McDougall, and the winner of the sprint race was Jason Raff. Wesley Lewin picks up second in that race, passing Alain McKane on the final few corners, who the aforementioned finished third. Bronze category, Matthias Smolny is the winner of both the sprint race and the feature race, but Oliver Forsström has the last laugh, as he is championship leader out of tonight, finishing second in this feature race, and Rob Savage rounding off the podium. And just a reminder before we go of the championship situation heading out of tonight. The top three in gold category is Dominik Pester, who picks up his second win of the season. He's first, from Ben McCluskey in second and Jack Pittas in third. Silver category, Alain McKane finishes gets himself, shall we say, to the top of the silver category, ahead of Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Andy Watts. Bronze category, Oliver Forsström takes the lead of the championship from Samy Ariba and Stephen de Gravelia rounding off that top three. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This has been round 2 of the championship at the Red Bull Ring. Up next, it's our first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. Spa-Francorchamps is up next. We have got a week off next week, so don't tune into the channel next week, but do keep an eye on the channel for the NXTCC as they're approaching the final 2 rounds of their championship. But we've got Spa-Francorchamps next on 18th of September, and it's our first 2-hour endurance of the season. So one singular race, no qualifying, and reverse championship order. Please do, if you want to get involved in the Discord server, please scan the QR code on the lower right of our screen there right now, and there's also a link in the description that may or may not be working, but give that a go, and if not, please scan the QR code on the lower right of the screen. Otherwise, if you want to get in touch with NextGen, please contact them on Facebook or Instagram if you need to message them to get involved in the series. And finally, a shout out to our partner, sponsors and affiliates here at NextGen Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design and Falconer PC, as well as Doble Motorcycles. This has been the NextGen Racing Season 8 GT3s from Round 2 of Red Bull Ring. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator tonight, and on behalf of NextGen Racing, thank you very much for watching tonight on YouTube or Facebook. And if you haven't already, please give us a subscribe, a follow, a like, and we'll see you next time for Round 3 of the Championship. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NextGen Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.